she's a UWP supporter. You know, I was speaking to her and I said to her, listen, you have to vote for Bibi, you know that. She said to me, why? I said, come on, man, Bibi, the young man has worked. You know, the young man has worked and so on. And as a matter of fact, she said, what you talking about, roads? I said, well, yes, indeed, he's built a lot of roads and you are a prime beneficiary of the roads that he's built because I know one road passes just in front of your house. She said, so now people eating roads. I said, okay. And then I realized, Richard, that we have not actually explained this thing to the people properly, you know.
Yes, we have to do
We
that.
have not explained this. We can explain
Because
it
they
to her.
took the money during COVID and built roads rather than giving
The
people income support. It was a situation of total desperation. The hospitality industry had crumbled. There were households with zero income. That is the context in which that was said.
So, Richard,
But they
if
will
you're
never
hungry,
explain it.
if you're hungry, right? If you're very hungry, and someone brings you a two-piece KFC box, look, and the person puts an S-Class Mercedes there.
No, in the two-piece, I'm fair.
or you want to die in the Mercedes?
Yeah. That makes no sense.
You know?
So it is the context in which it was used. Whilst people were suffering, whilst households had zero income, all those DSCs, design, finance, construct for hundreds of millions of roads. Some of it that Philip J. Pierre had to inherit and pay. That is the context in which that was said. It was not a situation where, as we say, no ceteris paribus, everything was equal. Things were unequal. Income had dwindled and became non-existent in some households. And rather than feeding the people, you all opted to do roads. That was the situation. That was the context in which we were saying that you better feed the people rather than build roads.
Because people do not eat roads.
Roads. That was it. So, Paviniexa, y'all take the COVID money. Nobody knows what y'all did with it. There's a clip where Chastanet said they were about in the 4th month of the year and he had already borrowed in excess of $500 million. And then the interviewer asked him, 500 million? He said, yes, over 500 million. When we have people suffering, you know, I don't know what y'all did with the money. Y'all send them to NIC. So, folks, can we have those bunch of liars running our country? The bunch of people that show total apathy to the people who can't afford. Y'all don't care about the people who can't afford. Y'all don't care about the people that work hand to mouth. Y'all don't care about the people in the hotel industry. Because if y'all had done that, if y'all had cared about them, none of the solutions would have found themselves in the mess that they were. But we know that Alan Chastanet is St. Lucia's biggest liar. He is the biggest liar to ever walk the political arena of this country. Alan Chastanet is a compulsive, emphatic, unequivocal, and compulsive liar. There is no adjective that is too expressive in terms of a man lying to attach to Alan Chastanet. And this man has a lot of guts. Lord Jesus, he has guts. This man envelopes his shamelessness as though it does not exist. Monsieur Paka hot. Monsieur Paka hot, ipaka hot, ipaka hot. And he has no shame. Guy Joseph and Spider, they are not far behind him. And I'll come to them in a bit. Now, folks, anytime you hear Chastanet say something, if he says something that seemingly makes sense, trust me, he did not write it. Once it makes a little sense, it's either artificial intelligence, plagiarism, or whatever, copycat, this, that, and the other. There was a meeting he went to with Mia Motley, and they realized Chastanet is trying to eavesdrop. Chastanet trying and copy. He there watching Mia's notes. The fellas just pulled Mia's notes away from that. I mean, it was so shameful. It was so shameful that Chastanet is in a meeting and watching the Prime Minister of Barbados' notes, and they pulled it away. The clip is there. The clip is there. But anytime you hear this man say something that seemingly makes sense, go and check the source. It could never be, he could never be the author of anything that makes sense. Anything. When Chastanet could spell step, S-T-E-P-T, and attempt and all kind of
Is that when he was delivering a lecture on economics?
On economics, yeah. Yeah, the man does not have the wherewithal to write well. And that is why I tell you, I am convinced the only degree Chastanet may have is if he buys a thermometer and is measuring degrees. Chastanet does not have the intellectual foundation on which any solid education can be built. He does not have it. There are people that...
The antiperspirant, huh?
I beg your pardon?
There's the antiperspirant degree.
That's what I'm talking about. Then there is the degree you used to take the antiperspirant thing to rub under your arms. Chastanet may have a few at his house. Chastanet does not have the intellectual base on which any education can be built. A degree. Miguel Favre, good night.
Oh, you know. I was just about to say. Ever since I'm thinking of Miguel, you know.
Yeah, Miguel, yes.
Yes.
Now, Miguel
Falconite.
Yeah, Miguel is the kind of journalist that engages in investigative journalism and would bring that to the fore. I remember him doing a story on Mac Mirage. It was well written, well executed.
Now, Richard,
so I was...
Chris Hunt just sent me the message.
Okay.
No, for me that is solid. If
okay.
Chris Hunt says it.
Yes. So he says it's true.
Yes.
Okay, folks, we have just learned of the passing of Sam Flood, Dubois. Nikki says it's not true. Nikki just says it's not true. But Chris Hunt, I have to use his name. Nikki, you want to come?
I just called his son and he says that's not true.
Okay, and that's what I normally do. But you see, Chris, verify your source again. Nikki just informed me that he called his son. Tandy Flood, if you, I know, Tandy, you called? Okay, Tandy, well, Nikki said he just spoke to you. All right, Tandy is not here, but he would have known. And he said that this is not the case. If it is, we shall update you momentarily. All right? Chris, I regard you as a credible source, my boy. Yes. So I was saying, Chastanet has no shame. Kimberly Mattress says it's not true. You know, they're saying it's not true. And his son, Tandy, is a Team RF member. So, Tandy, you can call me. I will interrupt the show for me to hear from you if you are so minded. But if you've already said it's not true, then it may not be necessary. So I was saying, anytime you hear Chastanet read something that makes a little bit of sense, trust me, it's not an original piece. He did not write it. You know, he did not script it. He heard, I think it's a well-intentioned politician speaking about liars. And Chastanet decided he will repeat almost verbatim what the politician was saying. But I don't think Chastanet realized that this piece that was written and scripted by another politician applied squarely to his characteristic traits. You would swear the politician was referring to Chastanet, but again, being enveloped in shamelessness, Chastanet repeats the thing verbatim, not realizing he is describing himself. Let's take a listen to Chastanet describe himself.
When a person lies, is they deliberately tell an untruth to deceive others, intentionally making a false statement to mislead people. Think of that. We hear a lie. We just say it's a lie. But there's an intention behind a lie. A person doesn't just lie. A person with high moral principles is not fearful in telling the truth and knows the difference between right and wrong.
You know, you want to play that again?
Yes, indeed. We
Let's
should
play that
it
again.
yes.
Let's play. No,
When a person lies, is they deliberately tell an untruth to deceive others, intentionally making a false statement to mislead people. Think of that. We hear a lie. We just say it's a lie. But there's an intention behind a lie. A person doesn't just lie. A person with high moral principles is not fearful in telling the truth and knows the difference between right and wrong.
Albert, what are you saying? What are you saying? What are you saying? What are you saying, Albert?
Richard, I find this so amusing.
It is the man was giving an eloquent and precise or concise description of himself. Let me. I'm getting conflicting stories about Jogboa, but his son confirmed that his dad is alive. So, I took Chris's word as gospel. Let me apologize in the event that he's still alive, but I take his son's word that his father is still alive. I don't want to be calling one's death prematurely. So, let us withdraw that and apologize to anyone we may have hurt by our premature comment.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
That's
Albert, so you were saying?
Yeah, I was saying, Richard, that I wrote something on Facebook under this thing where I said, look, if you're looking for a tutorial on law,
Yes.
you'd get a lawyer, a law professor,
Yes.
to deliver the tutorial.
Yes.
Now that was a tutorial on lies.
Yes.
So you got what did you get?
got the right man.
You got the right man.
And can you imagine? Chastanet is saying, if you tell a lie, you are telling an untruth with a deliberate intention to deceive, a false statement to mislead. Chastanet, you have a lot of guts. Folks, I will play some clips of numerous lies. I had to leave out some. They're like a death announcement, too numerous to mention. But let me just tell you quickly. Let me tell you quickly some of Chastanet's lies. Chastanet said he had not seen a plan to annex Maria Island to the causeway in Vieux-Fort. That was a lie. He lied when he said he never told this meeting that transparency was to honor us. He ended up saying he never said that. That was a lie. You'll see the clip of that. He lied when he said on radio, like gas had fallen below $10 in Grenada. He said it at 10 o'clock in the morning. At 10 o'clock and 10 seconds after 10, he said he never said that. Then he said that T.O. King will be creating 1,500 jobs. He said he was not in cabinet for the Tuxedo Villas case. The judge said he lied. He said he was off island. And in fact, he said he's 1,000% sure. The judge found he was a liar. In fact, the judge said his evidence is not credible. Then he said you would need no visa to go to the US. Afterwards, he said he never said that. He said about ching-ching in our pockets, and when you push your hand, you have to come up with money. After that, he lied and said that's not what he meant. He meant what?
An empowerment card.
An empowerment card.
But somebody has to explain that to me. Up to now, I'm trying to find out.
An empowerment card can do ching-ching, right? Good.
Is there some ATM somewhere that you can...
And the sad thing is the gullibility of our people permit all of that to be embraced with a certain degree of reality. That is so, so, so sad. Then he said on Rick Wayne's show, $1.5 billion US
Already committed.
to being invested in St. Lucia. He went down on the next show. He said 1.2.
No, he said the 1.5 in New York on some radio show in New York. He said 1.5. When he came down here now,
he said
on Rick
1.2.
Wayne's show, he said 1.2.
And then
when he was challenged by a journalist,
he said he never said that. You know, so he took credit more than once for the jazz festival, so much so that the people were sick of him and sued him.
Yes.
They sued him.
Sued us
Because we had to pay over $200,000, over 80,000 US in compensation. You know, so Chastanet's lies. You remember he said there were 800 deportees in 1 year. The Bajan reporter said 800. He said yes. And when the US released the statistics, they had not even deported 100 for the last 5 years. But Chastanet said we had 800 in 1 year. So Chastanet's lies are very well documented.
There's one that's very significant.
Which one?
He recently had a sit down with Lisa Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
And the question of the gas business came up again. Now, he likes that gas thing, huh? He really likes that. Richard, you remember that the man's Orange March was predicated on $6.80.
Yes. Actually, there is a placard bearing the 680.
Indeed. Right? $6.80. The man had a whole lot of people come and march and everything. And I think he probably won the election based on that too.
No, don't forget, he told farmers that he had just come from a meeting.
Yes, and fig
we'll be sending bananas to Martinique and France. So much so he had an FAR. Mm-hmm. Go ahead with the 680.
In his explanation, right, to Lisa, right, he said
he never answered the question.
He never really answered, but you know how far he reached. He reached $5. He couldn't go any further than $5. Right? And I'm thinking, wait, where's the 680? Where's the 680? So yeah, it's $5. The government was profiting $5. And you made a big march for 680 and now you at $5? Come on, man. Come
on. They're the ones that put the 150 on every gallon.
He put it, yes.
And said it's going in a lockbox.
This man is just a hot mess.
More than a mess.
Yeah.
And a liar.
But an extraordinary man.
Liar.
And I believe this man has a character flaw. Personally, I think he has a personality defect. You say he's shameless, but I don't think he's first shameless. I think it's a personality defect that makes him shameless.
Yeah. Not personality, probably mental.
But it's a mental thing.
It emanates from the brain.
Yes.
If there is one.
Yes. Well, I'm on Pasaka Matikosa. I know that Evaristus Jamari explained to the man and tell him, no, listen, this is not what you're saying, Alan. And he explained it to him, and he said to him, no, I have an election to win. Yeah, and you go ahead with your false prospectus, right? A bbig march, Orange March, and the government is benefiting 680. Then he comes back now, and guess who's pulling into his thing? Our partner VG, what's his name again? Peter King. My friend Peter King, I hope he's watching.
But Lisa,
it's not Peter King you should talk about who's watching. You should say, I hope Everestus is watching, so he'll dimity me.
But Albert, you know, the man, when he beat around the bush, and he never answered Lisa's question.
Never answered the question. He could say
yeah. And he wondered, I might cry. Yeah. You know, why?
A man who has not cried. Richard, when was the last time you saw this man cry? We know that he used to just pull the waterworks at will, you know? How do he say that? He's on demand.
Yeah, on demand.
Yes. We know that he used to pull the waterworks on demand. But Richard, this man has not cried. He has not used the waterworks in years. I've been watching him. He has not used the waterworks in years. All of a sudden, Uzi a waterworks now.
You know, and the man just lies. And folks, how did we end up? Before we play the clips of this man's lies, Albert, how did we end up with this man as our Prime Minister?
Boy, I think, to be honest with you, Richard, I think this has a lot to do with the vestige of colonialism.
And the psyche of our people.
Precisely the psyche. Look, Richard, I tell you something, huh? I do my self-analysis, my introspection and so on. And I know that I grew up, right, with the reverence for the white man.
Yes.
I grew up with that.
We used to refer to them as the
Béché Blanc.
Béché Blanc.
Yes.
I love it, yo.
Yes,
I
the
love
Béché
it,
Blanc.
yo.
I grew up with that reverence. I know that.
I made sure a lot of Béché Blanc having.
Okay. So I had to do my, what's it the doctors do and so on?
Surgery.
You know? I had to do my surgery, and so on. I had to do a lobotomy, get it out of me. Get it out.
Yeah, but
it's
difficult for the average Tom or Joan or Harry to get it out of them, because it's something that has been inculcated. And the sad reality is that kind of psyche, that kind of thinking, that kind of subservience to a different color seem to be we carry it on for generations. And it's only now, with persons being more educated, being more exposed globally, having access to the internet, knowing our history, how destructive those persons were in our lives, that they basically build their own resistance to those kind of people, Albert. Because if up to now, you found yourself by a stroke of luck leading a black country, and you could tell us that colonialism had a conscience, and duly elected black people
should be
flogged.
Right? This man has no sensitivity. He's not sensitive to black issues. Right? And there are some idiots, right? One or two of them are actually schooled, they've been to good school. And then they say, oh, you're racist. Stop talking rubbish.
Yeah. Racist is hatred for other races.
And not only that, Richard.
But if you are denouncing the treatment meted out to you by a different color of a human being, that's not being racist.
Not at all.
That's not being racist. I am a black, I'm proud black. I hate nobody. But not because you believe that your color, the amount of melanin you have in your skin permits you to be presented as superior to me. I have a difficulty with that.
Melanin deficient.
Yes.
But the fact is, Richard, racism is a power construct.
Yes.
It's a power construct.
Yes.
How can I be racist? I have power? We're getting back. My skin color has power. If I'm in, okay, you might have said something like, okay, Idi Amin Dada, back in his day, was racist because he had the power, right?
Yes.
He had the power to do the things that he did.
Idi Amin did a lot.
Yes.
So you come to Uganda and you call in Uganda money, shit money, take him away and give him a proper treatment.
Yes, he had the power to do those things.
He did.
Racism is a power construct. But even with that, Richard, right, you can still say that Idi Amin was reacting, He was reacting.
He was reacting to the kind of treatment
that his race had gotten already.
That's correct. Because you look at Africa, the richest continent in the world, Albert.
Yes.
Where have the resources of Africa gone to?
Siphoned out to
and
Europe.
Because now you have this, what's the guy's name again?
Traore.
You have this man resisting the dictates of the colonial masters. They want to kill him.
And listen,
They want to kill him.
Every day I get up and I hear this man is alive, I say, thank God.
They have tried everything under the sun because the man say the resources of his country belong to his people.
And you know what, Richard? If and when they do kill him, do not look for. No. Listen to me. When they do kill him,
no. But you see
the person.
You say that with a certain degree.
The person with the gun, right, looks like him. Looks like us.
Yeah, they'll be recruiting one of us.
The person with the gun is going to look like us.
Yes, they'll be recruiting one of us.
Yes.
And they will give him a deal that is too sweet
yes.
to
or the
reject.
person who administers the poison or whatever it is will look like us. Trust me. That is where the term suse, right? That's where the term.
But don't forget, Jesus had dinner with Judas.
With the suse.
He had dinner with Judas. Tonight, somebody told me something. Toka, good night to you. Somebody told me something, and Toka was there, and the person saying to me, you must be wary of so and so, so and so, so and so. And that person was on point. The person was on point. And then I said, but if there's a certain degree of trustworthiness that, pervades that kind of relationship, then, I would least expect so and so, that kind of thing. Placing extreme confidence in a relationship. I don't expect you to poison me, Albert. And if you have a bottle of water, drink it. I may want some, I will drink some of your water, that kind of thing. And the person said to me, remember, Judas sat at the dinner table
Was he
with
next to him?
Jesus.
No.
It was,
Well, not too far from
not too far from
Not
him.
too far.
I think it was 2 seats to his right, left or right. But look at Abraham Traore. All the money is simply saying, and look at this, look at Chastanet versus Philip J. Pierre. Persons are wondering, where is Philip getting the money from? Philip does not get no extra money that Chastanet was not getting. It's the same money. It is proper management, geared for our people, for the empowerment of our people, versus squandering in the interest of foreigners. That is the difference.
FFFs.
That's correct. When you tell me $50 million to Ernst & Young, we have not, that money has already been saved by this administration.
And you see, the thing is, Richard, during his term, it was shown how much nonsense he was doing with this Ernst & Young thing. Because if it was so good and hunky-dory, why did you stop it at one point?
He stopped it because the coffers of the government had depleted so rapidly that he had no choice.
Yes.
If not, he would have had to borrow. We have to go for a break. We'll go for a break, folks. When we come back, we'll continue that discussion. Clips of Chastanet's lies, and let me tell you, more interesting stuff to come. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The winning numbers for the evening draw of Thursday, 25th September 2025 were Tic-Tac-Toe, 1, 11, 13, 14, 15, 18, 21. Big 4, 3, 3, 6, 3. Big for Multi-X, FP. Pick 2, 6, 8. Pick 2 Multi-X, 3X. One off, 3, 2, 6. Lucky 3, 5, 6, 4. Lucky 3 Multi-X, 3X.
My name is Martina. I would like to say thank you to the guys from Paddy Access, especially Jermaine, for a job well done. I called him 2 days before my brother's funeral to do a live video, and I was not disappointed. He was professional and kept in touch with me throughout the live, just making sure I was satisfied with everything. I would definitely use Paddy Access again, and I highly recommend that anyone looking to do a live video to hire them. Everyone who watched my brother's funeral had good things to say about how much of a good job the videographer did. If you want satisfaction for your money, Paddy Access is the way to go.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Thanks for staying tuned. Let me give a few shout outs very quickly. Joan Filgers, good night to you. Good night to Daniel Alexander over in New York City. Good night to Owen Alcindor, Eastern Parkway. Good night, good night, good night. Brother Pell Lansico, good night. Pell, you ask a very good question. Pell asked me, how can an economist that Chastanet says he is does not know and can't pronounce excise tax is exercise tax? That's not a mistake. That is ignorance. Very good, Pell. Let me say good night to Menasas, Moinga, Kisera, of course, the father, Mr. Siwak, all the Siwaks up for a say good night. Good night to Secure, Shatal over in Grozile. Good night to you. Teacher Fefe in Babano. Good night, Teacher Fifi. Good night, good night. Daddy Ray. How the Daddy Ray? Daddy Ray Umbo. Ulagavela. Daddy Ray. Good night, good night, good night. Cynthia, good night. Desmond over in Boapatat and Wednesday, let me say good night to Pat. Good night to the man Compton and all the others who congregate there to have a beverage over. Can I help you? Special good night. Nigel Sinclair, good night to you. Elders in the CDC. Ladies and gentlemen, Midland and all the others, ladies, gentlemen, good night, good night. Collins Shalry over in Virginia, USA, good night to you. Glennis of Black Stars, a special good night. FL Butt and FL Dread, Jalabo, we say Twinna, say Jimurwa, Boswe. Kaderangs, good night to you. Randolph, our local St. Lucian, who's a police officer in Bermuda, good night to you. Albert?
Yes, let me say good night to Mr. Kanai in St. Croix. Good night to you. Terence Toby. Yes, in Florida. Good night to you, sir. Marvin Hunt. Where's Marvin? Is he in New York? Or?
New York, the last time I knew.
Yes, good night to you, sir. And of course, my favorite lady, Miss Fedora Letang. Good night to you.
Yes, good night, good night, good night. So yes, folks, we were saying earlier that it is because Philip J. Pierre does not get extra money. Let me just give you $100 million that Chastanet wasted. Can be more. But I'm giving you just off my head. 50 million Ernst & Young. That goes in the coffers up to now. Philip J. Pierre spends it on our people and all the new programs, the laptops, the this, the that, the youth economy, the small to medium businesses, the insurance of farmers, the insurance of fishermen, all of those things go in paying CXC, 4 CXCs, well, everybody paying facilities fee, the bonus to civil servants. Those monies are in the economy. Those monies would have come to any prime minister, but it is not whether they come, it's how you project those funds, what you do with those funds, whether those funds are used for the benefit of your people. And that is where Philip J. Pierre will just slap Alan Chastanet in terms of his political repertoire, his political acumen, because Philip touches the lives of the ordinary man. Chastanet doesn't. So let's 100 million. I named the programs, the housing repair program as well. 50 million Ernst & Young, 24 million Sandals, 32 million Permandu. Check for me. I reached 100 already. I passed 100.
I was just going to use one.
I passed 100.
Caribbean Jewels.
Caribbean Jewels, 150 million. You know, Permandu, 13 million. Lockerbie, 32 million. Those guys who came, range developers, 32 million. So, folks, we could not have seen development of our country. We could not have seen our people prospering. The money did not filter to the average St. Lucian. Philip J. Pierre is not waving no magic to get more money. He is spending the money wisely to impact on the people of this country. And that is why We can't take no chances. How are we to know each child will get a laptop? How are we to know will he continue if one university graduate per child? How are we to know if he'll withdraw the CXCs? How are we to know if he'll continue paying facilities fees? How are we to know if he'll continue in the youth economy? How are we to know whether he'll continue in the medium to small business program? How are we to know whether he'll continue with the housing repair program? Those are programs that touch the small people of this country. And that is what you need. And that is why generally each and every St. Lucian, no matter your political affiliation, you will feel the impact of good policy implementation because Philip Joseph Pierre is spending the people's money wisely.
I don't know about you. I am a pensioner.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. What you pension from? No.
Well, yes, in a sense. But I'm a pensioner, and as far as I heard, my Christmas shopping fixed already.
But that's what I'm saying, and you know, even now, even the $500 bonus for civil servants, those things were never thought of. Those things were never addressed because we in this country meant nothing to the last administration. It was DSH, it was Pumandu, it was Ojo Labs, it was Cabot, it was all sorts of entities that are totally foreign came down here and Golo.
Since you mentioned Cabot, remember the last time I told you that you need to take a drive up there? Have you done that?
No, I've not.
You really need to. What Cabot has done out there, right? From the eyes of a person who plays golf and that kind of thing. Oh, that's fantastic. But from the eyes of a patriot like myself, it's horrendous to look. When I stood there and I looked at this thing, the expanse of land. That expanse of land
that landed into the hands of a foreigner.
Right? Because
at the hands of Chastanet.
Alan Chastanet gave the instruction
to lend them pensioners money.
No, not just that, Richard. Richard, is these guys, the NIC, were going to buy the land.
Yes, they had already done the valuation.
They had done the valuation already. They were going to buy the land.
For St. Lucia.
Look, St. Lucia, you'll have to understand this, When you have flambo people talking rubbish about the Cabot, they were against. Look, as far as I'm concerned, government is government. The Cabot thing is there, right? The government has to accept that the Cabot is there and deal with it as they have to deal with it.
Oh.
I'm a little different. I'm not with government, okay? That abomination, I'm not setting foot on it, right? It's an abomination to me, but I'm not in government. As far as I'm concerned, Philip JP and his government must deal with it differently to how I deal with it, okay? I can get into my feelings and everything. I'm not in government. Philip JP can't get into his feelings on that, okay? He's the prime minister and he must deal with it as the prime minister. And the government must deal with it as government. Isn't that so, Richard?
Yes, we are.
Right? But when you tell me that the NIC was going to buy this thing to put in their land bank because they have a provision for a land bank.
And for St. Lucians.
For St. Lucians, they have that provision. And you tell me these guys are going to buy this thing.
Using pensioners' money.
Using pensioners' money. They had already commissioned Terence Sinclair, who had done the valuation already, for them.
Yes.
And then you, Alan Chastanet, say, hold on, stop.
Give instructions.
The money that you have, give it to Richard. No, I shouldn't use the name.
No, don't use me.
Give it to Cabot. Give that money to Cabot for them to buy the same land that you all were going to buy. Alan, explain that. Explain that, Alan. And you know who I want to explain that also? What's the fellow's name? Tsunami Frank. Tsunami Frank, right? Who went on a junket to Canada. Cabot, let's go. Let's come and enjoy yourself. These people like to do that, Richard. They like to do that. When they want something from you, take you to dinner, take you to this, take you to that, and come on a junket. You go on a junket to Canada and you come back. You're so bright. You're so much brighter than us that you're going to try to convince us. Tsunami Frank. This is a lot of nonsense, Richard.
And people are still supporting Chastanet.
Yes.
That's my grouse.
That land could have been
our
our
land.
land.
St. Lucians could have had their houses over there.
Yes. And even if, Richard, they had done something with it, because the way that thing is there, you do something, really nice with that and so on.
Nice.
But even if they had done something where I myself couldn't even go there, but it was St.
Lucians living there.
I would still hear, yes, man. Good, it's all good. I'll just consider, yes, a gated community, whatever, but St. Lucians. St. Lucian have the benefit of it.
And Tsunami Frank went to Canada and say, oh yeah, good deal. Anyhow, I want to refresh your minds, folks, with Chastanet's description of a liar and uninterruptedly play about 8 short clips of lies that Chastanet has told. I cannot play all. It will take 10 consecutive shows, and that still would not be enough. But play his definition of a liar again for me, please, and then play the clips one after the other.
When a person lies, is they deliberately tell an untruth to deceive others, intentionally making a false statement to mislead people. Think of that. We hear a lie. We just say it's a lie. But there's an intention behind a lie. A person doesn't just lie. A person with high moral principles is not fearful in telling the truth and knows the difference between right and wrong.
For clarification, let us clarify some things. I have not seen one plan that proposes to connect a causeway to Maria Island. I have not seen one plan that includes building anything on Maria Island. Has never happened. So for the other side to continue standing up and down and believe that they've been successful in changing the government's position, that is just a fallacy. And that's dishonesty. That's intellectual dishonesty. For clarification, let us clarify some things. I have not seen one plan that proposes to connect a causeway to Maria Island. I have not seen one plan that includes building anything on Maria Island. Has never happened. So for the other side to continue standing up and down and believe that they've been successful in changing the government's position, that is just a fallacy. And that's dishonesty. That's intellectual dishonesty.
What is the point of the causeway?
To create a project that is very, very exciting, to reclaim land that is much more tourism friendly in the South.
Your daddy had not seen any plan to connect Maria Island. He has not seen one, none. But Rick Winnie said to connect the thing and to reclaim land to make it more hotel friendly or whatever. Then play the one, so that was a big fat lie. Play the one, the next one, Summit of the Americas.
So, Mr. Speaker, when St. Lucia has a government such as this, United Workers' Party, that destroys millions of dollars in assistance from sympathetic countries that are trying to assist us in charting the true and real development of our country, we are destroying our country's reputation. Further, it does not create an improved framework for us to attract foreign assistance when the Prime Minister makes shamefully irresponsible statements in the international community to the effect that they're focusing too much on fighting corruption. And if I'm wrong, the Prime Minister can correct me. A source quoted him as saying at the last OAS summit, and I quote, and the Prime Minister is free to emerge on a point of order if that's not true. They said transparency, he said transparency should not be onerous, that it takes precedence over development, unquote.
So, Mr. Speaker, he invited me. I never made such statement. I have not been to any OAS summit meetings.
For those external partners who want to help us
We ask that you coordinate your programs in tandem with government's determined needs and assist in such ways that builds partnerships and does not impose a particular set of government's mechanisms. We ask you recognize that transparency should not be so onerous that it takes precedence over development.
He said transparency should not be onerous, that it takes precedence over development. Unquote.
Mr. Speaker, he invited me. I never made such statement.
We ask you recognize that transparency should not be so onerous that it takes precedence over development.
Folks, Alan Chastanet is unbelievable. Said he never said it. And we are hearing where he said it. Now, the Tuxedo Villas case. That's not the next one. I saw you about playing that one. The Tuxedo Villas case, when he said he's 1,000% sure that he was not in cabinet. Or just play the next one. Any of the other ones.
This continual allegation that the courts found that Alan Chastanet lied or did anything wrong in the Tuxedo Villa case. I challenge anyone to find any document from the courts that says that.
Here is what the judgment said, word for word. One area of inconsistency between Mr. Chastanet's affidavit and oral evidence relates to the timing of his meetings with Dr. Mandesi after the customs investigation was launched. His affidavit is very clear. He met Mr. Mandesi in May or early June and advised him to meet with the Comptroller of Customs. In cross-examination, he said that the meeting took place after Dr. Mandesi had received a letter from Customs. The only letter that Dr. Mandesi received from Customs was the letter dated 26 June 2008, but the meeting with Dr. Mandesi took place in May or early June, and so it could not have been after Dr. Mandesi received the letter from Customs. Mr. Chastanet deposed in his affidavit that he was not at the meeting because he was scheduled to travel out of the state on that date. He said in his cross-examination that he was 1,000% sure he was off island. Yet the minutes of the meeting show on page 1 that he was present at the meeting, and on page 2 that 3 ministers are listed as being absent. Mr. Chastanet is not included in the list of absent ministers. The judge should have dealt with the issue of Mr. Chastanet's presence at the meeting. If he had done so, the inevitable conclusion would have been that his evidence was not credible or reliable.
Y'all are hearing, folks. Let me say a quick shout out to a couple of people. Gearbox, good night to you, my brother. Good night to Gasper Blaze down in Swazel, if you're there at this time. Skinny, your chicken and fish has arrived. No chicken break. We didn't have a chicken break. I want viewers to know we have not had a chicken break and we'll not be having a chicken break. Alison Fede, good night to you. Tara Esbar, good night. The guys at Sam's Bar on Chaussee Road, good night to you. Sam, the man himself, good night. Dion of Talvin, good night to you. Good night, good night, good night. So you heard that, Albert?
Yeah.
Chastanet said he was 1,000% sure that he was not at the cabinet meeting. 1,000%. Yet he's listed as being there. 3 members absent, he was not one of them. Chastanet Lasmati. Now, let's go with the one visa access, and then he turned around and said it's not true.
The other thing is with regards to the visa. And again, it's politics. So when I made this statement, the statement came out that Alan Chastanet has promised that we're going to get U.S. visas. I challenge anybody to go back and listen to what the statement, because if I'm not mistaken, it was an address that we did to my convention. I said that we can be in a position in which we can get U.S. visas.
And the goal of the United Workers' Party is to make sure that the day will come soon, that solutions will not need a visa to go to America. Because America will be jealous of the life that solutions have. They will not be fearful that solutions are looking to migrate to the United States of America. On the United Workers' Party, that will happen.
Yes, this chap, Richard, somebody needs to make some money off Alan Chastanet. Prepare a compendium of lies Because I'm sure you can, you can write a book. You can write a book of lies from Alan Chastanet. Can you imagine that? I'm challenging you. I'm challenging, and everything that you challenge people to prove is so easily provable, And Alan, seriously, when I think about it, you're
There's another one of his supporters that always say, I challenging you. One from Babuno. Always, I challenging you, and he always wrong.
No, but listen, Richard, Prime Minister, right? The office of Prime Minister should carry with it a certain dignity. There's a certain reverence, as far as I'm concerned, that I place on the office of Prime Minister, right? Now, you got in there, as far as I'm concerned, how you got there, goodness me. But you got in there. At least you are already there. Bring a little something to it. Bring a little something to it because you're there already, right? By default, in my view, but you're already there. Bring a little honesty. Try not to appear you're just a liar. Try not to appear that, you're just trying to take the advantage of the people's treasury for your own ends, your FFFs. And we can go on and on with what you've done, Alan Chastanet, to this country. And you're trying to come back, You're trying to come back.
And not that, Albert. I don't mind him trying to come back. There are people, look, we spoke about the Cabot situation. There are people who follows this man. There are people who wants the man back. I don't understand. I don't. Before we play...
No, just before you play, Richard, have you noticed there's a certain something, about this Cabot? Because it's Cabot to the north and DSH to the south.
Yeah.
Right? That man affect us north and south,
Yeah.
And badly too.
Yeah. And then they were trying on the east.
Trying on the east.
Yeah, they were trying on the east. Well, northeast. Tsunami come in. Let's take that's northwest. Sorry. Let's take the comprehensive school.
The
And who's in there again? Franco.
The same Frank, Tsunami Frank.
Yeah. But before playing the next clip, let me say good night to Posh, Corporal Sergeant President. Good night to you, my brother. The Thomas in Library, Lois Thomas, and all of you. Good night down. The President of Library, the man himself, Alva Thomas. Good night. Vicky Butcher. Alva Baptiste.
Carry on.
Yeah. Good night, Zizi. Good night, my girl. Hope you go to school tomorrow. Good night. So let's deal with the 1.5 billion he has to invest.
We have over $1.5 billion US of foreign direct investment that's committed to come to St. Lucia over the next 2 years.
How much is it?
1.2 billion.
Over the next 2 years?
Next 2 years.
Starting?
In January.
In January, okay.
But you remember you indicated that there's 1.5 billion or so committed to St. Lucia?
I never committed anything.
You have to play that again, Black boy. Play that. Play that again, please.
You sure you want to play it again?
No, please.
We have over $1.5 billion US of foreign direct investment that's committed to come to St. Lucia over the next 2 years.
How much is it?
1.2 billion.
Over the next 2 years?
Next 2 years.
Starting?
In January.
In January, okay.
But you remember you indicated that there's 1.5 billion or so committed to St. Lucia?
I never committed anything.
That is this country God this man has served. He just lies and lies and lies. Now, one time he said he's going to privatize OKU. Then he said, no, I never said that. The government has no such intention. And then he went back to say, yes, he's privatizing. Let's listen to that one.
That there is no intentions on my government's part to privatize OKU. And there never has been. So hopefully, again, I'm on record. I make it publicly known clearly that there is no intentions to be able to privatize OKU. Okay? So this sinister perspective Mr. Speaker, by members of the opposite side to look at something that is a simple issue, to dig deep further, to believe there's some alternative motive other than simply protecting the workers of St. Lucia, I have to say to you, is farcical.
Speculation is rife that the Owen King EU hospital is being privatized, with assertions coming from various sources, including former government ministers. Prime Minister Alan Chastanet has shed some light on the situation, indicating that the involvement of a third party for the operations of the hospital is indeed in the cards, but will not reveal specifics. This coming a few days after a memorandum of understanding was signed to with the EU, where the Prime Minister indicated that the government has been doing and will continue to do all in its power to have the facility finally opened in its entirety.
We are in advanced discussions with a third party to take on certain responsibilities in the hospital. The first one really is the radiology center. And then we'll be following up with that with hopefully a comprehensive management structure. And then once that's completed, we'll also then include the hospital in the south. But underlining whatever agreements we have is being able to change some of the fundamentals in St. Lucia.
Chastanet says he anticipates the opening of the Owen King EU by the end of 2018. Privatization of the hospital, according to the Prime Minister, is the preferred route.
We've made that point clear, is that we would prefer to go into a private structure. We've made that point clear, is that we would prefer to go into a private structure.
You know, and I agree with you. Who's that person who said, Uwe Baptist, the lies are infectious. No, before we discuss the lies, let's play the last one. Let's play the one where he called money ching, ching, ching. And then he said, no, he never said ching, ching is money, is your card. Play the last one for me.
Empowerment card.
No, yes, it was 161108. There's one more. Ching, ching, empowerment card.
I think that there's something that we underestimate grossly in this region. And that was the U.S. policy to repatriate nationals. Honestly, it's one of the most horrific things that the U.S. could have ever done to this region. And I assure you that when you start looking at when that policy became implemented, and then look at the corresponding years, a huge spike. I mean, it's almost a coefficient of 1. You start understanding the numbers. So, in the case of St. Lucia, I see some years 800 people.
800?
Correct. In Jamaica, it's in the thousands on a continuous basis. So that's why I'm saying I don't think that we all appreciate the magnitude.
That 800 is for St. Lucia alone?
Correct. In 1 year.
The Prime Minister pinned responsibility for crime in the Caribbean on the United States. A July 13th missive from the U.S. government states, quote, funding from the State Department's Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement, INL, increased 31% between fiscal year 2015 and fiscal year 2016. On Prime Minister Chastanet's deportation claims, the United States government confirms statistics indicate that the total number of deportees returned to St. Lucia in the last 5 years was less than 100. In 2015, there were only 8 such cases.
Well, that's where the 800 come from. He saw 8, and he added 2
he just
zeros.
added, he just threw some zeros in.
Can you believe this, man? 800, and he qualified it in 1 year. The U.S. said over the last 5 years, we've not even deported 100. They've not deported 100, but Chastanet said 800 in 1 year, whereas in the year before, it was only 8. But he said 800, he probably can't read. Jamaica is in the thousands, gross exaggeration. But let's say the ching-ching one before we deal with all the lies, ramped up together.
I remember on many of occasions being on the platform in the boulevard or in Soufriere or in Gros Islet during our campaign and talking about ching, ching, ching.
and what ching 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 was. And I said, I know that there are going to be people who are going to come around and talk about ching 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 is actual money in your pocket. Ching 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 is about empowerment. Empowerment. And I challenge anyone to go and look at my speech. It is no longer acceptable that a young person puts his hand in his pocket just to be able to hold his hand. He must be able to put his hand in his pocket to be able to get money to be able to buy food for his children. So with respect to the current level of suffering, the UWP will introduce certain measures that we will call 5 to stay alive. Talk about ching 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 is actual money in your pocket. Ching 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 is about empowerment. Ching 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 in their pockets. It is no longer acceptable that a young person puts his hand in his pocket just to be able to hold his hand. He must be able to put his hand in his pocket to be able to get money to be able to buy food for his children. Every single St. Lucian must have their own card. Ching 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 in their pockets. That's what the ching 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 is. The ching 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 is not money. The ching 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 is your empowerment. And do not let anybody stop you.
Where they get meat from, Albert? No, honestly, where they get meat from?
This is not the first time.
Trisha Neptune, where y'all get meat from? Jean de Wissot. Jean de Wissot n'a parlé by zot. N'a parlé by zot Jean de Wissot. Si zot quitte sa rive zot encore, nous finissons ici. Ou je mets un homme qui dit première chose et un homme qui c'était premier ministre. Ching ching ching. Là où fouillez le moment pour jouer là. Après ça, ching ching ching, c'est au 4. Au 4 qui a fait ching ching. Albert.
No. You know, Richard, I really would like someone in the know, right, to sit me down and explain to me this empowerment thing, how it works. Because it's your card in your pocket, your card, your empowerment card. How does it work? What's it about? You know, in my wallet, I have a number of cards, right? I have a number of cards. A lot of them.
Well, I don't even carry a wallet, so right? I wouldn't have cards.
So the cards, there's a card for this, a card for that. You go to a Massey, and you pull out your Massey card. You're supposed to get some dividends, whatever, and so on. You know, so right. So that's the purpose of that card. Somebody explain to me, what is the purpose of the empowerment card? What does it do? How does it empower me?
But I think it empowers Chastanet to play on the gullibility of our people.
Oh, so he's the one being empowered?
Yes, to fool the people. And the sad thing is, they are not bold enough. They will not stand up to him and say, no, Mr. Prime Minister, when you said ching ching, you even used the words money in their pockets.
So in any event, who has an empowerment card? I would like to see one. You know.
Daniel Thomas says she has an empowerment card that belongs to me.
Okay. All right.
I mean, where are we going with this man? Where are we going with this man? Say, Muna ki vle VM misye ale nou. Bodye kay gade bzot, bodye kay pale bay zot. Misye pa on nom pouve. Let me say this. I have no difficulty with the United Workers' Party. Many difficulty avec United Workers' Party. Because United Workers' Party under Sir John was a party that made its contribution to the development of this country. The current United Workers' Party is making its contribution to the demolition and the destruction of St. Lucia.
You mean the Sapa Flambeau?
Sapa Flambeau. So I have no problems if the United, I have a problem with the policies. Pour la hanou, pour tse nou, pour mol nou, vani bay étranger, comme $100 million, just buy. Tout foreigner. Philippe J.P. ka presse nou, il ka bay retirees, teachers, police, mamay, pay CXC, pay this, pay that, buy civil servants or bonus. Ça y ka fek la hanou. La hanou ka wete, by les simpliciers. How can you tell me You want this man to lead you again. Et tout ça, nom là qu'a dit, c'est oh ma chose, oh ma chose, oh ma chose. No.
And just brushes it aside like, I don't know.
It's nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
It's nothing. When I Bougla parle about ching, 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 il dit l'argent en poche. Then, les 20 premiers ministres, il dit ching, ching, c'est au 4 en poche. Je ne sais pas si c'est 4. Ada dit au ka servi. But majorité dit au pas ka servi 4. Majorité, ou ka yon supermarket 4. Il dit pour acheter manger. Acheter manger. Combien de gens de Wiso qui aller acheter manger et au 4? Huh? Those are the people that voted for you, Chastanet. Those are the people, Jean-Ti Rocher, Jean-Di Gars, ouvrez yezot, ouvrez yezot, ouvrez yezot, exot ni pour ouais, tot ni pour sav, la ran Philippe J. Pierre a dépensé, elle est tout le monde à cholman, ka paye si bay mamay, ka bay laptop, ka aide jeunesse, ka wanje kay, c'est l'argent ça là. Chastanet te ka point, ek bay étranger. Il te ça aide nous, il pas aide nous. Ou pas ça. So pas ça vie ici là. Trisha Neptune, I'm warning you. I'm warning you. I'm warning you. And Chastanet, you have to pay for the fools you are taking St. Lucian's for. You have to pay for the ride you have taken people from Deriso, Tiroche, Diga for. My father was from Tiroche, Miku. My mother from Monrepo. You have to pay for that. You must pay for it. Because if you had done any little thing for the people, today we give educational supplies. I see you taking our money and go and buy it. You had never done that. We housing repair, you take our money and go and do nonsense. You had never, things you had never done for the average poor St. Lucian. Today, because of Philip J. Pierre's benevolence, notwithstanding for 5 years, you never gave the opposition 1 penny. He is still assisting you in attempting to deliver to your people. But you have a price to pay. And you lie, you lie, you lie.
Richard, I'm a bit concerned there. I see Val, I just used your empowerment card. Check your notifications and don't jump.
Ooh, yeah. So ask her which is the empowerment card.
What, yeah?
And folks, some of the lies I played for you are just a few. As we enter really into the election mode, at everything we will be playing. We'll have a screen just reminding you of the egregious deeds that Chastanet did to us. When he took our $7.3 million to pay vaccine, the man you are giving that to a company that was
Rock Hard
Cement. Never imported one vaccine.
Your brother-in-law is a business partner there.
And up to now,
right?
We can't get all our money back.
Rock Hard Cement then went to what's the name there? It sounds like it's a porn company.
Yeah, but I'm not even going into all of that, Albert, because it's not really necessary. But the fact is, Rock and Cement were not involved in the procurement of any kind of drugs. None. And the man openly said there is always opportunity in adversity, which means our people are dying and that's the time to make money on their heads. And Chastanet gave the man a check of $7.3 million. And then want to say Barbados gave and this one gave, when we prove that nobody else gave him money. You have to pay for those things, Chastanet. You must pay for them. Take that 7.3, divide by 17, almost $500,000 per constituency. That can assist in elevating the standard of living of the people in your constituency and in others. 50-something million you give to Ernst & Young, 25 million to that one, 150 million over there, 32 million Loco B, 13 million Pumandu, and the list goes on and on and on. Whilst our people are suffering, Whilst our people are suffering. And you know, the thing is what y'all did, y'all pardoned like St. Jude. Y'all pardoned St. Jude, so St. Jude became a cash cow. Y'all pardoned the roads, DFCs, when normally, I'm being hypothetical, folks. Hypothetical means it's not an exact scenario. You're drawing an example. So I'm being hypothetical. If a mile of road would usually cost $1 million, they pardoned it to about $4 million per mile. Took money during COVID. Took money during COVID when our people were suffering and gave DFCs. And then Guy Joseph, you all think they give us money to give you all. You'll have to pay for the sufferings that you'll put St. Lucians through. You'll must pay, and you'll will keep on paying at the ballot boxes until you'll turn your backs on the politics of this country. And I want to say this. If I see a good leader in the United Workers' Party, I will call him out and give him what is due to him. Because at the end of the day, political parties exist for the betterment of our country. Political parties exist to ensure that we get to a destination that uplifts our people. It's like political parties, we are in caste trees. One will say, let's pass on the East Coast. The other will say, let's pass on the West Coast. The East Coast, better roads, longer. West Coast, shorter, but the road is worse. So you advance those arguments, but the ultimate destination is soufre. You know, so a government supposed to be concerned about the quality of life of its people. You know, the quality of life of its people. And so, you know, the choices should be narrowed. The differences in philosophies should be so compatible or juxtaposed or closely related. Because if you care about your people, your programs must almost mirror each other. But no, Chastanet's policy was give it to foreigners. And it's clear Philip J. Pierce's policy is leave it here for St. Lucians. And those two policies generally can never run in the same stream.
But if you think about it, Richard, while Chastanet was given millions, given by the millions, hundreds of millions even, but on the other hand, where it concerned the poor people of St. Lucia, he was taken.
He was taken, yes.
Right? So when you had the distress
fund. He stopped the distress fund.
Right.
He stopped NICE. He stopped STEP.
Yes.
So, yeah, you're right.
But let's take it a little further to where it gets even more, if it can get more egregious, it does get more egregious when he defunded the Blind Welfare Association.
The Blind Welfare Association. The man defended the Blind Welfare Association. He defunded the National Trust.
National Trust.
He defunded the police training vote. He defunded the distress fund and asked persons to go and take insurance on their houses. Chastanet has done everything that is not in the interest of St. Lucians to St. Lucia, whereas he takes the money and give it to foreigners. Golo, Philip, on the other hand, tell me one. Just like I would say, tell me one hotel Chastanet built. He cannot show me one. I could show you how many are coming up now. Tell me one foreign investor Chastanet brought. And I will ask you to show me one person Philip J. Pierce government has given any vast amount of money to. That is the difference of significance. That is the significant difference. 54 million there, civil servants here, 0. Permanent do have 13 million, no permanent C, 0. And that's how it is. Our monies are for our people. And so, folks, all they do is feed us with lies. And that is why I like clips. I like this afternoon. Riani Isidore, good night, my brother. I was speaking to Riani this afternoon, and I said, Riani, do some investigative journalism for me. Get this, get that, and come with a conclusion for me. And then he said, wow, Richard, you were so correct. What I thought it wasn't that. I said to him, the popularity of this show is built on factual information. I don't come here and say this and that and the other and feed the people with lies. Chastanet does. Now, Guy Joseph, anything that comes from your mouth, I could never, ever accept it. Nonsense alone. You know, Your ignorance may not have permitted you, Guy Joseph, to speak on period poverty. But you were in a room and you wanted to cause anxiety and again to capitalize on the ignorance of your audience. You did not know what it is. You were instilling fear and then you spoke some nonsense about not even in Haiti. A couple of days ago, Guy Joseph will open his mouth. Folks, hear this well. St. Jude is under construction. We heard Reno say St. Jude is 90% complete. It means that everything is not intact. But Guy Joseph will already tell people, you cannot go to St. Jude because the electricals are not good. If you go there, the electricals might have a short, and if you're on dialysis, that can kill you. Can you believe this? A site that is yet to be delivered, a project that is yet to be totally completed, an electrical system that is yet to be totally inspected, approved, and passed. But Guy Joseph will tell people from now, instilling fear in them, that you cannot go for dialysis there because the breaker will trip and your people will die.
He's an electrical technician.
No, but whether he's an electrical technician or not, Albert, let's not even go down that road. Even if he was, a project at 90% complete, how can you foresee from now that...
No, but it suggests that he has inspected it.
No, but he has not inspected it.
I know he hasn't.
And even if he has, Albert, it's not in a state of readiness.
Indeed.
So your argument fails.
No. I'm saying that, what I'm saying is that based on what he's saying, it suggests
no, but Albert,
he's got the wherewithal.
No, even if he has the wherewithal.
I don't think you really understand.
I understand, yes, but I'm still saying no electrical engineer from now of a project that is not totally complete will tell you that system is going to trip and people will die. How can you make such an irrational and reckless statement to instill fear in our people? That man has no credibility. I'm saying, Albert, now if you are an electrical engineer, upon completion and upon approval and certification, you pass and inspect and you find the thing is not fault-free, then you can make a statement like that. But it's a site. It's a project under construction until it has been handed over, inspected, approved, passed, certified. But from now, people will die if they're on their dialysis. And it is the same Guy Joseph, the very same Guy Joseph, excuse me, who said that T.O. King, it was Kenny who brought T.O. King out. T.O. King came under Kenny, but we listened to him. And then he said that T.O. King had a letter, which they have, that Kenny promised them, Kenny promised T.O. King everything he wanted after the elections. After the 2016 elections. Guy, you need to stop those lies. And that one is certainly pregnant because I know for a fact when T.O. King made the proposal to Kenny Anthony, Kenny put together a team of expertise. He put together a team of expertise to advise him. And then came the election. But Guy is saying that T.O. King has a letter where Kenny said he will give him everything he wants. Take a listen to Guy Joseph Fuchs and his lies.
Yes. Now when you walk the street, that's that. But that's why I'm telling you, when you want time to stop making your son or your little boy, your little girl.
I have 10 minutes more. I left my home from morning, and my wife.
I have a question for Guy.
All right.
Guy, I have a quick question for you, Guy.
Yeah.
Guy, I have a quick question for you. Can I ask?
Sure.
Really quick.
Yeah.
You said that before that you were not going to run again. You were done with politics and you wanted to have.
Never said that.
Yes, folks. I want to fast forward that one a little bit because it's 8 minutes long, but half of it I don't need to really hear Guy. They said, because after the last election, he said in 2016, that was his last election. And then somebody's asking him a question on that, and he goes on to say that Emma Hippolyte and this one and that one and blah, blah, blah. So I don't want to get into that, but I want him I want you to hear him say that Kenny Anthony had given Theo Aking the assurance that he will get everything after the elections. Let's go back to Black Boy.
Operating some of the older buildings in it for the kitchen, the laundry, and these things. So if anybody can point out to me a project that was started by Labour and discontinued by Flabo, then I can tell you, yeah. Because different governments have different priorities. So I believe there are times that a government has a right to revise a project and say, I'm not going ahead with that project. So, and both parties do that. So I will not tell you Flabo has never done it. But I would love somebody on the chat now to point out something to me, a project that was being done and it was stopped by UW.
Okay, and that's nice. I understand that part now. And I'm just wondering, like, with the horse race track, what is the problem with the horse race track? Because I see something like it's not going to continue anymore, just like the stadium has.
Because the government of the Labour Party, when they came in, they cancelled the business license for the business that was operating there. Now, if you understand what that means, when you come from a foreign country and you come and open a business in a different country, when you come and open a business in St. Lucia, the government has to give you a business license. So DSH was given a business license to operate in St. Lucia. What ended up happening was when Labour came in, they cancelled the business license. So they could no longer do any business transaction. Now, when a man has a legitimate business, when the proper process of registration and everything, so now there is a lawsuit against St. Lucia for stopping the business license of a legitimately registered business in the country.
But these are the things that are not right, because if the government is working for the people of St. Lucia, these are the things that should be considered. They should consider the people and not themselves.
So the question is, have they ever come and told the people of St. Lucia why you cancelled the business license for DSH? Nobody knew. You know, we got to find that out when the lawsuit was being filed against St. Lucia, is when we get to know that they had cancelled the business license for DSH. The fellas not selling drugs, they're not into illegal firearms, they're not doing any illegal business in St. Lucia. You just cancel their business license because you don't like them. I mean, this is madness. The people didn't come at Philip J. Pierre's home or Ernest Hiller's home and say, I don't want you at my home, you know. The people came to St. Lucia as businessmen. And that business started under Kenny Anthony and Philip J. Pierre. We showed the letter where Kenny Anthony tell them after elections, you all will get everything you all want. You just cancel that business license, and the man had spent $40 million of his money down there. So what do you think he's going to do? He's not going to sue the country.
Yeah, man. And that's useless money we have to thank you for answering my questions. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Big
You're welcome.
Yeah, I have a question to ask now, eh?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So, my question is... yeah, my question is... why... Wi-Fi you babo man.
Don't choke my drink water. Boy go, Wi-Fi any bomb mem. Bye, WhatsApp. My name is Kegwashi.
And please, no matter which party you are going for, respect the mister, okay? Respect the gentleman. No disrespect, all right?
What's your question?
Lord. Somebody, even before we get to Guy Joseph, somebody reminded me that during COVID, after they gave away the vaccine money, the country's money for vaccine we never got, then they got money for income support, which they never give to our people. When they wanted to raise money for our people, they did a telethon.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that
telethon.
Yeah. What happened to that money? They never said anything about
But the wickedness Chastanet has done to our people. Good night, Fenella Timothy. Good night, Gebox again. The wickedness this man has done to our people. I remember during COVID, the homeless was somewhere at VG, and 2 days after they just put them out. The wickedness y'all have done to our people is coming back to haunt y'all. Now, Guy said there isn't one building, one project they stop when they come in. Not one. They stopped St. Jude for a number of years, for 3 years. They stopped the Soufrière Square. They stopped the administrative building in Vieux-Fort. They stopped the PPP arrangement for the construction of the HIA. There is so much y'all did, Guy, and you're saying
they cancelled the HIA.
The HIA, and they had to pay $1.something million. You know, now, Guy Joseph, what's a business license? I'm hearing you, and I don't understand. What's it? Because I've never heard of that. Folks, when T.O. King approached Kenny Anthony, like I said, Kenny Anthony was smart enough to put a committee of experts together to advise him. Why didn't Chastanet do the same? In less than 3 months after you win the elections, you're already signing off that kind of deal.
6 weeks.
6 weeks after the elections, you were signing off on that kind of deal that was so disadvantageous to this country that Bradley, who is one of the signatories to that agreement, said that he signed it and he did not read it, and some of the terms and conditions are disadvantageous to us. Why are you putting St. Lucia through this? For the sake of foreigners. For the sake of foreigners. Why are you doing it? You know, leasing over 1,000 acres of land for 99 years at $1 an acre and selling some of it. Look now, everything in Vieux-Fort. Apparently, there is this fear about doing anything in Vieux-Fort without T.O. King's permission. Danny Butcher, you have the Danny Butcher's video clip, okay, I'll send it to you in a bit. But folks, all roads lead to Vieux-Fort on Sunday. All. We are red and ready. You know, we might even need to get permission from T.O. King to use surrounding lands. I don't know. I remember y'all went to Vieux-Fort. Y'all went to Vieux-Fort, celebrated with the drag racing guys. Y'all celebrated with the car racing enthusiasts that we have in this country.
Didn't even take a drive as well.
Yeah, Chastanet took a drive as well. You know, portraying a certain degree of allegiance to the sport, empathizing us with the guys, showing that, look, man, we share your concerns and blah, blah, blah. Let's do it together and whatever. Not knowing that you're not pulling the rugs under the guys, man.
Already.
Y'all had already pulled the rugs under the guys. Y'all have to pay for that kind of thing. And y'all were there. Chastanet gave a speech. Guy Joseph gave a speech. You know, and y'all had already dealt with the land, giving it to somebody else. When last we had drag racing here? When last? We used to have persons from all across the region converging on St. Lucia for drag racing. Chastanet and Guy, the two of you must pay. Y'all have to pay. And those are things, folks, that we can't afford to forget because, you know, Bob Marley said, A man without knowledge of his past is like a tree without roots. And if you all permit that to perpetuate, if you all permit those things to get into forgetfulness, then they are bound to be repeated if that man has a chance of occupying the prime ministerial chair again. You know, I used to enjoy going to Viewfort, drag racing, yes, man. And all of a sudden, take the land, and give it to foreigners. Give it to foreigners.
Richard, poor Young Trim, you remember Young Trim, deceased? He died in the accident near Miku.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Again, Chastanet used Young Trim, right, to convince the young fellas around, because you know they had the little informal horse racing thing going.
Yes.
Right? Yes. He used Young Trim to convince them that, look,
let's
go with that because this is for us.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. And Trim was an enthusiast.
Yeah.
You know, and he campaigned for it.
Yeah.
And look at what is happening to them. Look at what has happened to them. Chastanet guy, God is alive and well, you know. God is alive and well. God is alive and well. Y'all have facilitated T.O.R. King basically to destroy a lot of the sporting activities that our people look to the South for. When there was drag racing, castries would converge on Viewfort, and there would be persons from all across Trinidad, Barbados, Dominica, St. Vincent, Grenada, Casgalore.
Russell Lake was a
Russell Lake. What are you saying now, Lake? What are you saying, Russell? What are you saying, my boy Russell? You have to wrestle with our one, Russell. You know, all of a sudden, the dreams of our people have to die at the hands of Chastanet because he has to give birth to interest by foreigners. Why is he sidelined the desires of our local people? You know, God is alive and well. He's not asleep. You know, and you're facilitating T.O.R. King. So if I want to go down there and have an activity, I have to ask T.O.R. King. You know, suppose I want to use the racetrack and I heard guys say the man spent $30 million of his money. To do what? What development has happened down there in Viewfort that took 30 million? But then again, you always have the habit of overpricing everything, guy. $30 million of his money. When you all signed an agreement, that he could sell passports and keep the money in a foreign account. How we know is his money, Guy Joseph? How we know is his money? How we know? I don't know. But I have the document that says T.O.R. King can sell passports and put the money in an account away from St. Lucia. His money, our passport money, if he came here, let me balance it. He came here without a penny. And even Chastanet was on Rick Wayne saying that it was the CIP money that he would use.
Human Gill will dispute that. I posted something this morning.
Dispute what?
Saying that T.O.R. King walked in with his two hands swinging.
Of course.
You know, and Human Gill is really shallow, you know. I mean,
only now you know that.
That is what he picked up on, you know, that the two hands swinging free.
That's
what he
true.
picked up on. But essentially what I was saying is, look, tell me what it is that St. Lucia benefits from this.
And tell me, what did he have to invest? What did he come with?
No, but he's saying that the man built the horse racing track without going to our indigenous banks and so on. I'm thinking,
nonsense.
Seriously?
How do you juxtapose that with a fact? The fact is, now one can argue he sold one passport. I can argue he sold 1,000. The other day one said
we just don't know.
Exactly. So you cannot say that with any degree of certainty. You cannot say with any degree of certainty how many passports T.O.R. King sold. We don't know. And up to now, we don't know.
Richard, but we can get to the bottom of it, you know.
We have to.
Right? Honestly, I just do not know how it is that I ask a government minister like you, right? How many passports did T.O.R. King? And nobody knows. We can get to the bottom of it.
Nobody knows.
Richard, the bottom line is that the bottom line is that the passports are issued where from?
The immigration department.
Exactly.
No,
Right?
seriously, that is worth the conduct of in-depth
No,
investigation.
but a proper investigation will get to the root of it.
You know?
A proper investigation will get to the root of it.
And then they'll just tell you his own. How the hell you could say that? How can you say that with any degree of certainty? How can you say that?
We don't know where that escrow account is.
Nobody knows where the escrow
We don't know
account
what is in it, if there's anything in it.
How much was
We don't know
left?
how many passports went to, but we can find that out.
You know? And then you're telling me, oh, he came with his money. He spent and that is how you'll want to fool people. If I give you permission to sell my passports, you have not given me an explanation that says, okay, conclusively, $1 million was made, but he spent 30. Give me documentary evidence of the amount that was made on the sale, because Theo Aking would never open the passport, the account, which the agreement gave him exclusive permission to open and operate. He will let we can know. We don't know.
And the nonsense that if we wish to draw down on it, we have to ask him.
We have to ask him.
And he will decide whether that's worthy or not.
And you're telling me a man telling you the man uses his own money.
His own money.
How you could say that? Anybody that say that is a fool. It means your ability to analyze, decipher, and basically to break down the contents of an agreement is limited. It's limited. Which own money Theo Aking spend? Which own money? How do you account for the fact that the agreement contains a clause that permits him to sell passports and to put the money in an overseas account? How much money went there? How much money was spent? Where is the balance? You leave that unaccounted for, but if he spends a little money here, it's his own money. So our passport money wasn't ours.
This morning, I was speaking.
Can you believe this, man? And we want to go through that again, folks. We really want to go through that again with Guy Joseph and Chastanet.
I was speaking to a fellow lawyer this morning, Richard, and I told him of Herman Gill's posting, and he said Theo Aking used his own money.
His own money.
You know what the man said to me immediately? But how could we know that? What about the escrow account?
Exactly. Exactly. If you are saying something, say something to hold your credibility a little high. And that's why I tell you, when I come here with facts, crap alone, nonsense alone. How could I don't know how many passports he sold. I don't know how much he spent. There is no accounting. There is no accounting. There is no reporting. There is no documentary evidence of the transactions in that escrow account. We don't even know where the escrow account is. All the agreement says in an account overseas. How are we to know?
Now, Theo Aking give say.
How are we? But he got a gogo as prime minister.
No. Do not say that. Do not say that he got a gogo as a prime minister.
He got a smart man.
Do not say that. A very smart man.
But
very smart man. Theo Aking is not the luckiest man from Mongolia. He's not. That he comes over and some idiot just gives him stuff and now he owns half of Viewfort and he has this and he has escrow account and he has passports and nobody knows anything. Theo Aking is not that lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He didn't meet no gogo. Okay? That's all I would say for now.
Marie Bonaparte, you're right, Richard. You have forgotten the last year, Renault fixed there for the guys. Overnight, someone brought out equipment and messed up the whole place. You remember that? Of course. The guys who were doing our local oil racing. That is what we have come to. That is what we have come to. And anyone that says Theo Aking did this or did that with his own money, you are blatantly demonstrating your ignorance. Theo Aking has an agreement in his hand. That says he can sell passports. He can put the money in an overseas account. He's the sole operator of the account. If we need money, we need to ask him. And you're telling me he spent his own money.
The fellas need to investigate this thing, man.
I agree.
People die, People die, and when people die and they alone know things, they go to the grave with the information. Mm-hmm. Investigate the thing. You don't know. right? Young people die, old people die, middle-aged people die. Right? And if they alone know, they go to the grave with the information. Investigate this thing.
Just say the man come with his own money. When he have a source, when Alan gave him a source to make hundreds of millions of dollars, so all the money he made sell. Don't tell me he had that and he never sell one passport.
Richard, if you don't know.
In fact, T.O. King, hold on, Albert. Our laws permitted, I think, either 100 or 200 to one investor. They brought it up to about 500 for T.O. King. You telling me T.O. King don't sell one passport for at least $1 million? He come in with his own money. Who y'all think y'all fooling?
But Richard, I'm not going to mention any names here now. Right? But it can be known who are the people who were responsible for the dissemination of passports for the,
T.O. King.
T.O. King. And who was going in there on weekends.
Yes.
Off business hours, to get these things done. This Chastanet. Anyway.
Well, let me tell you, and we want to bring this man back, man. This man back. But that is what it is. And they lied to us. They lied to us. Guy Joseph. Imagine Guy Joseph. Some months ago. He knows the election date. All they do is lie. The man come with his own money. Own money, my foot. You give me an agreement where I can make hundreds of millions of dollars. I take a change and spend it. That'll be my money. I'm a fool. Why didn't he start spending his money before he started that he needed the agreement to go and raise funds? Why?
Alexander, good boy.
Yes.
He was at immigration.
They transferred him.
No, because he wouldn't dance to the
They
tune.
transferred him.
Right.
Alexander was Sean Alexander Goodnight.
Yeah.
He was at immigration.
Good lad.
And to facilitate T.O. King, he was removed as the man in charge of immigration.
He wouldn't dance.
And you're telling me T.O. King come with his own money? You that own money business, you're supposed to be involved in it. Your own money. And Guy Joseph lie like anything that man say, don't believe him. Don't believe him. He said he knows the election date, it's whatever date. He said the Labour Party conducted a poll and he knows the results. For the last election, the boy said his support had increased tremendously from 2016, so he expects even more votes. Well, for that election, it was a greasy poll because Joachim beat you. We have done no poll that results of 13-4. It would be more than 13-4. It would be more like 15-1, 16-1, 15-2, but in favor of the current government. And all you do, Guy, is you say things to deceive people. Play that clip for me, please.
I want to tell you something tonight. Tell Labour, release the results of the last poll that they got a week and a half ago. The poll of Labour of a week and a half ago shows that the United Workers' Party is winning 14 out of the 17 seats.
The first Labour Party seat we are going to win this time around is Castro South.
I am telling you, the election date that they agreed to is the 18th of August 2025.
This time around, I am going to get much more support from people who used to support the Labour Party.
I believe that.
Guy Joseph. What does one say about this man? And it's the boldness of Guy Joseph, the boldness. But anyway, I know, Richard, and based on what I saw on Sunday, right? And not just what I saw on Sunday, it is also the work ethic of Lisa Jawaye, right? Lisa Jawaye has an incredible work ethic, right? And we also know that Lisa Jawaye, coming from the last campaign in the north there, BB, You know, Lisa Jawai did a lot of work in the north there with Kenson last election. We are aware of that. And if she could have done so much work for Baby, how much more would she do for herself?
And you know, the thing is, Albert, I mean, Lisa...
And she has a good team with her.
Well, Lisa will do what she has to do to decimate Guy.
Yeah.
Guy gave a date of the election. That's not true. Guy said in 2016 he has garnered more support than ever. That's not no, in 2021. That never happened. In the same 2021, he said the first seat that'll come home is Castries South or Castries South. That did not happen. Everything that he said about the poll, that's not true. How can you believe anything this man says? I mean, lying now runs in the DNA of the United Workers' Party. Let's go to Spider. Spider had privilege on issue. You know? Well, that's not a show, that's a threat. Because, I mean, I cannot believe how deceitful Spider Leonard Montut could be. Or I don't know if he was inebriated, drunk, I don't know.
He was not. Well, I mean, that's not the reason for what he did.
Yes, right. But, you know, it is so deceitful that Kenny Anthony, as a then leader of the opposition, fired a lot of blows at Chastanet when he was Prime Minister and Herman Gill when he was Minister for National Security. Spider knew that very well, that Kenny Anthony was referring to the duo that I alluded to. But again, it's in the DNA. In an attempt at deceiving St. Lucians, he made it appear that Kenny Anthony was referring to Philip J. Pierre. And he had Titus Prevel on the show who was piggybacking either through mere ignorance. Now I find it strange that a man who jumps into the political arena would not have acquainted himself with what was transpiring over the years insofar as the political landscape of this country is concerned. Because it appears that Titus believed that Spider was not deceiving him. But if you are so easily deceived, Titus Prevel, it does not speak highly of you. It does not speak highly of you because you went on to make comments on the basis, without fact-checking, on the basis that what Spider was saying was true. So Spider even deceived you as well, or if you permitted yourself willingly to be deceived so as to be an accomplice in the whole thing. I don't know. But folks, clearly, Kenny was referring to Chastanet. And you know, Spider is so foolish. I would not have done that because what you have done now, Spider, you know you would have been called out. People are now remembering the inefficiencies or deficiencies of Alan Chastanet, who was your prime minister, or who is your leader. Take a listen to Spider, folks.
I really wonder our viewers and listeners to hear what someone else, a very interesting individual, has to say about the situation.
He remains silent. The Minister of Justice says nothing. The Prime Minister does not speak. He remains silent. The Minister of Justice says nothing.
A very interesting individual has to say about the situation.
He remains silent. The Minister of Justice says nothing. And the police try as they might to make the announcements. They can offer no guidance and no comfort. We are in a difficult situation. The truth is, a leadership that is helpless does not deserve to lead. A government that is helpless does not deserve to govern. A prime minister who is helpless does not deserve the prestige of his office. He's the worst Minister of National Security we have had. And I just want you to remember how quickly our memories fade. That
Yes, I really wanted our listeners to hear that.
Is that a commentary by former Prime Minister?
Former Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony.
Parliamentary rep for
Beaufort South. And his words are, a leader that fails to lead does not deserve to lead. A government that fails to lead does not deserve to be in government. And a Prime Minister who fails to lead does not deserve the prestige of the office that he holds. Very apt, very applicable. I am sending that message to the current Prime Minister, and that's what his predecessor thinks, given the situation as it exists with him right now. Okay, because he has failed as a Minister of National Security.
But this information coming from former Prime Minister Kenny Anthony is a very serious indictment.
It is.
Because the Prime Minister would have had responsibility at the end of the day as a Prime Minister for national, at the end of the day, whether you hold a portfolio of national security or not, the safety of your people is the most important thing. And therefore, when he's making that statement from a considered perspective. Now, if St. Lucians are listening, and I say so because I don't think Prime Minister Anthony has anything to prove again, former Prime Minister. He has nothing to prove again. When he's speaking now, he's speaking freely. He's speaking his conscience. He's basically telling it like it is. And so when he's doing that, I think every St. Lucian of sound mind, conscious of the value of life, should be taking those words very seriously and should be acting on the advice that former Prime Minister Anthony is providing to all of us.
That's correct. That's correct.
He has called out the government for its virtual silence on the current homicide figures, adding that the Chastanet administration is clueless about what needs to be done about the issue. Having reached a point of helplessness, the current government, he says, is no longer fit to lead.
the Prime Minister does not speak. He remains silent. The Minister of Justice says nothing. And the police try as they might to make the announcements. They can offer no guidance, no comfort. What is clear is that Herman Gill Francis has presided over the worst crime statistics in the island. He is the worst Minister of National Security we have had. And I just want you to remember, and how quickly our memories fade, that he's the same minister who, on being appointed, had all the solutions for crime, whose advice, he claimed, was unheeded by the former SLP administration. Now he is in the driver's seat. And what do we see? What do we see? An alarming increase in the number of homicides and an incapacity to deal with the problem that we face.
Folks, you all see how deceitful those guys are. They cut off part of the clip. They cut off part of the clip made in May of 2021. They cut off part of the clip where Kenny actually mentions Herman Gill Francis' name as the worst Minister of National Security ever. They cut it out and they used the part that suited them. But Spider, those intentions to deceive can never ever fly, because there are people like me who call you all out, and the records are there, and that is why I enjoy credibility. And Titus is there drinking everything you say. Titus is there drinking everything you say, pretending. I'm hoping he was ignorant of that fact. pretending he does not know it was Herman Gill that Kenny was referring to and Alan Chastanet. The question is, why did you all cut the clip? Why did you all edit it just to suit your narrative of deceit? Why? And that's all you all do. That is all you all do. You all try to deceive others. It's just like the dog. Tyson dead. They give Tyson rat. You all politicized. You all politicized the misfortune of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force by having a tool equipped with for crime fighting. It unfortunately passed. And you all are saying that you all politicize it. Today, the deputy or assistant commissioner is saying, no, there was no poisoning found in the dog. None. And it was blood clot and there's some other complications. That is what you all do. You all know how to deceive. You all are trying to desperately to fool the people. You all play on the gullibility. That cannot work. That cannot work. So the description you gave Spider, and you gave it very, very well, it was applied to, it was being referred to Herman Gill Francis and your leader. But you see, if you can deceive others, if you can deceive your own self, you know, your own people. Play that other clip where he does not even know what he's talking about.
Denry North, Denry South. Oh my God. So ladies and gentlemen, let us acknowledge the presence of the next parliamentary representative for Denry North, Mr. Benson Emil, because Ben for the Denry North, Denry South. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Ay. You know, but all of you all are in the same boat. All of you all are in the same boat. You all are going loco. You all are going loco. Because we have been putting things right, but you all want to put things wrong. Play the next one for me, please.
Soufre Saltibus is coming home. There's no two ways about that. Soufre Saltibus is coming home, brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters, last night I had the pleasure of closing off the meeting in Soufre Fonsejac with Brother Herod Stanislas. And I am happy to report Soufre Saltibus is coming home. There's no two ways about that. Soufre Saltibus is coming home, brothers and sisters. Soufre Saltibus is coming home.
Every 5 years we get the chance to dip our finger in this colorful paint and put our X where it's supposed to be. We need to take the initiative and do it the right way. I urge all of us, come out in large numbers and do what it takes to do the wrong.
You hear? So all of them going local. Do what it takes to do the wrong. Bradley, where is Soufre seat? I don't know. Soufre Saltibus? I don't know. They all are going local. They need, you know, even Chastanet going local. He don't know when his campaign is starting. Play Chastanet's clip for me, please.
I just have one message for Benson. Benson referred to me as, sorry, not Benson, sorry Benson, my apologies. Kenson referred to me as an angry ex-boyfriend. Kenson, yes, I am angry. I am an angry ex-boyfriend.
Hate is also found to be very pronounced in political parties, and we see the greatest expression of that hate in the opposition St. Lucia the United Workers Party. So the United Workers Party are the biggest expression expressors of hate in this country. St. Lucia Labour Party.
Where is Alan Chastanet's degree? Alan don't need to be an economist. He have enough economic credits in the labor, in
the St. Lucia Labour Party.
In the labor, in
the St. Lucia Labour Party.
Yes.
Mama Labour. Mama Labour.
And I want to thank all of you who continue to support the St. Lucia Labour Party.
In the labor, in the United West Party. Yes.
Sorry.
Play another local clip for me and play another one. All of them going local, folks. They are going local. Trust me. Desperation.
Yes. Let's run the run. Yes. Yes. Let's run the run. Yes.
Okay, Messi. Okay, Messi.
Yes. Let's run the run. Yes.
You know, folks, I tell you, all of them are going local, and they are coming here. They are saying what they say, but they don't realize. That what they're saying is actually true. You wanted to say something on Spider, Albert?
Yes, Richard. I don't know. Listen, the fact is, okay, Spider has his political show, right? Now, what we do here is, this is a political show, right? There's a fundamental difference, right? Here, we present facts, and we have receipts and all of that.
Yes.
Okay? We present facts, we have receipts. Spider, on the other hand, right? Because you see, Richard, there's this thing that is called propaganda, right? Propaganda is not necessarily a bad word, and it can be a bad word, because it's an umbrella term for the dissemination of information.
No,
but
I disagree.
It can also be the dissemination of disinformation.
No, well, then it's propaganda. Right. Because if, hold on.
Let's not
if you are disseminating factual information, how can it be propaganda?
No, let's not argue that.
Okay.
Right.
Go ahead.
No. The fact is, on Chastanet, on Spider's show, right? Spider invited Titus to his show, right? And you invited Titus for a purpose. Now, if you've decided that you are going to go down the road of the negative propaganda, what you did, taking that clip and so on and trying to make it look like Kenny was talking about Philip J. Pierre and so on, if you decide to do that, that is your business. If you decide to sell your soul to the fellow who lives down in the hot place, that's your business. Do your business. But you cannot have your guest, right, commenting. I believe Titus was commenting genuinely. That's what my belief is. I believe he drunk the slop Spider served, and then he was commenting on that.
So you're saying that he was commenting on a deceit?
Yes, that is it.
And you believe it's your utmost view, it's your conscious view that this
Spider deliberately deceived him.
No, you believe that he knew he wasn't deceived. He knew that. You think he was commenting based on what Spider tell him, and he believed it was true.
That is what that's my view.
That's your view?
Yes, you might have a different view. But having said that, if that is the case where Titus, right, was deceived by that, it means that Titus is uninitiated, wet behind the ears, right? As a politician coming in there, wet behind the ears.
That is why I'm disagreeing with you that Titus...
Uninitiated.
Right. So, Titus Patisov?
That's my view. Right? And we can agree to disagree on that. But the fact is that Spider showed utmost disrespect
for him.
If my view is correct, if your view is correct, then they were in it together.
Yeah, they were accomplices.
Yes, but if my view is correct, then Spider showed the utmost disrespect to him. Yes, sir.
Don't you believe that the guys would have basically a tete-a-tete before their show in terms of what they'll be airing, what they'll be commenting on, blah, 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 prior to the commencement of the show? And then in his mind, he would have at least prepared a response that when this is put to him, this is how I'll respond. Don't you think so? This is not, don't forget, that's a seat of comfort, you know. That's a seat of comfort. That's not an adversarial seat. In other words, you can be prepped, you can be properly prepped, You can be seized of all the information, whether it's disinformation or misinformation that will be spewed whilst you are there.
Let me take you back to Titus's first sit down. I can't remember who he was sitting. Was it Lisa? He had to sit down with somebody, and he was asked the question, how do you compare Kenny and not Kenny Anthony, Philip J. Pierre and Alan Chastanet? That response he gave was how he felt.
And it was totally unprompted.
Right?
I would agree. I would agree.
It is how he felt.
I would agree.
You know, that Philip is steady as you go.
And
measured and steady as you go. Alan, well, he doesn't consider what's going to happen tomorrow. I think this is a good thing. What do you think, Richard? Is it a good thing? Yeah, it's a good thing. Do it.
You forget the most important part. Some may consider him as being reckless.
Some may consider him as being reckless. Yes. Some. So who's some? Yes. This is some. It's him. You know. But honestly, Richard, it's my view. And it's really good that we have different views on this.
I do believe, there is this old saying of playing dead to catch crap while alive. You know about that? Titus may have willingly played ignorant, so as to be exonerated from the adverse ramifications. Exactly. And others who may think like you. So in other words, please say, I did not know. You understand? And it was just put to me as you did.
It doesn't flatter him too much that he did not know.
Exactly. If you're coming into the political arena, you'd have a general knowledge of the In fact, at that time, he was in government.
Yes.
He was in government. So I really don't understand how one can tender the excuse. Ignorance of the law, as we know, is no excuse. And saying you did not know. If any politician would have known that this was being referred to, Kenny was referring to.
I mean, Titus has made what I consider one or two unfortunate choices.
Yes, indeed.
Right?
Choices and errors as well. Eh?
Yes. Now, I do not wish to delve into the family business. So let's unkid this up.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, folks, all of them are going local. Guess why they're going local? Because this government is working. It is working. And, I came across a clip today, folks, which I want to share with you. A social influencer. I don't know where he is from. But I came across that clip and I felt good about it. He had been to St. Vincent, Grenada, Barbados, and St. Lucia. And he said that in the 4 capitals, Castries is the nicest. And of course, in the clip, he showcased some of the work that we have done as a government. I spearheaded in Castries Central. Booths that I built, paintings that I put up, and he's saying, look, this place looks good. This place is developed. Folks, Castries is on the rise. And you will hear him say it yourself. Take a listen to this video clip.
Everything is sexy here in Castries. I had to choose between visiting the Pythons or visiting Castries. Pythons are these iconic mountains in the south, but Castries is the capital city. The way to learn about St. Lucia is to meet the people and not to see the landscapes. One of the main places you have to visit, obviously, is the main market. And it's actually pretty busy. Normally, if you come in the afternoon, obviously, much more quiet. They have a local bar called Super Sexy Grill and Bar. Looks beautiful. There's another sexy, the Super Sexy One Pot. Everything is sexy here in Castries. Oh wow, look at all these beautiful colors here. Lots of souvenir shops because St. Lucia also is a cruise destination. But this looks really nice. Look, this is like, I don't know, almost looks a bit like Indian style, to be honest. Look at the lion, the colorful. There's no smoking, no spitting. To be honest, the no spitting also comes a bit from Asia, if you ask me. Oh, look, here you have all these places that have very typical St. Lucia souvenirs. Super friendly locals as well. Oh, we have Trisha also.
Yeah, my name is Trisha also.
So you are from St. Lucia?
I'm from
Trinidad. You're from Trinidad. Oh, I'm also going to travel to Trinidad soon. What are the main people that come here? Cruise people?
The people from the cruise ship, the people at the hotel.
To me, I'm also from the hotel. Secrets Hotel?
Where you at, from Secrets?
Yeah. It's a nice place.
That's a very good.
How long you do this already? Your whole family?
My whole family is a generation. Cause it's from my mom, my grandmother, my mom, and
I have to say, I think after seeing Barbados, Grenada, St. Lucia is the most developed one.
Thank you.
Most calm and pleasant to walk around in the city.
Friendly people.
Yeah. Thank you.
They're gonna help you, darling. Trust me.
Thank you so much. You're amazing.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Everywhere they have these beautiful, colorful houses and souvenir shops. There are a lot of souvenir shops in Castries. Remember, we are in the capital city of a country. Thank you guys. People recognize me here everywhere. I love it. That's the beauty of the Caribbean. All these little villages, basically, these capital cities, they have embassies, they have parliaments, they have government buildings, and they have statues. And this guy, apparently that's Mr. St. George, and he was the first president of St. Lucia. And I visited all 4 capitals, Bridgetown, Kingstown, and St. George. It's a very easy conclusion that Castries is the most beautiful of all 4 of them. Beautiful park here in the middle of the city as well. What a fantastic tree. I don't even know if I saw a tree in the Bridgetown, in Kingstown, or in St. George at all. And here in Castries, they have the most beautiful tree I've seen in a really long time. I swear, I really like Castries. It has an amazing vibe.
You know, folks, I want to say this. When I ask vendors and other persons in the cities not to put old dirty trays anywhere, or not to open dirty tarpaulins anywhere, or not to put pieces of steel protruding on the sidewalks anywhere, or not to take old dirty plywood and start building your own thing anywhere. I am doing it because we have a product we are trying to get out. Videos like these go viral. Trust me, if this has not reached millions of people, I don't know. But videos like this go viral. We are the ones as a country, as a nation, as a citizenry that would enjoy the positive ramifications derived from those kinds of videos. That is free publicity that we all should embrace. That is why we as a people, we need to play our part in keeping our city clean. When I ask the fishermen, don't pull up with your fishing carts and sell fish anywhere and drop the fish water, it stinks and everything. Folks, I am doing it for a reason. And I'm not depriving anybody from making a dollar. I'm giving you a more comfortable and more aesthetic, appealing environment to operate in. Look at what was on the flabbo around by the print tree. It looked like a ghetto. Look at it today. Look at, he pointed out to the nice Bido Park vending facility I recently completed. He pointed to it and said how beautiful and how colorful they are. Those things don't happen by accident. They don't happen. So I took out the vendors there and I brought them into a safe and more comfortable space. The fishermen, I spent over $200,000 building a fish vending facility in the fisheries. I am literally begging St. Lucians to go up there and patronize. Because if we permit those guys to come into town, not that I don't want them to make a dollar, but when you come with your cart, fish guts and everything on the street, it begins to stink, attract all the rats. We are moving right. We are moving right. And the fish water and everything. We are moving right. The coconut vendors. You know, the day we were opening the anchorage, I spent, when I left the show, I had to go there, left there about 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever time. Rats galore under the bags of coconuts that were left there. Folks, I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for the aesthetics of our people. We can do it in a controlled environment. When I see people take out a no vending sign, I on my hustle. Folks, no. Let's do it. Let's do it properly. I want everybody to make $1. I am one. If all vending facilities, which the guy commented on, are so nice, so beautiful, I build them. It's because I want, and by the way, anyway, let me not go into that one. It's because I care about vendors. I care about the guys who are selling the fish. We try, let's coexist. Let's do it well. Castries is now clean. Castries is getting there. It is getting there. It is getting there. It is getting there. When I was in office, in power, between 2006 and 2011, I've told you before, I built the Jeremy Street Plaza. I also built the Darling Road Plaza, which is at the end of Darling Road. It's at the corner of Darling Road and Jeremy Street. From the time I built it, either in 2009, 2010, not even a coat of paint went on it. I fit just in the Jeremy Street Plaza, and I must tell you, show them pictures of the Darling Road Plaza. I just finished giving it a coat of paint to make that look good. You see, Albert, you see how it looks now? Hold on with that picture there. Now, Madam Mayor or whoever, you see that pole there? Tomorrow, I want that pole painted in. I know it's an electrical pole. We're not interfering with anything inside. But I want the white painted. I want the black painted. Whatever is worth doing well. Madam Mayor, paint that for me, please. Tomorrow afternoon, when I pass in town, I want to see that pole looking nice in black and white. Show me another pic. And this is it now. Now, there's a lady putting old benches and old things at the corner. Folks, let's not ghettoize the place. Let's keep it clean. I'm literally begging. Because I'll tell you all this, I built this between 2009 and 2010. For 15 years. For 15 years, not even a coat of paint. Nobody had touched it. Nobody. Patsy, good night. Today, Patsy called me. Mr. Frederick, thank you very much for the facelift on the plaza. I am happy it was completed today. I've not even paid the contractors yet. I've not even paid Harry Spence yet. I have to put in this thing to get money for the people. But tomorrow I want to see the pole painted. And just imagine, in keeping with the beauty, when you now drive down Darling Road, show them the pictures of Darling Road. When I saw that wall you were driving down there, that wall was dirty. I gave some guys a job. The Gimo brothers they pressure washed it. And then I gave a whole set of guys a job to paint the entire thing. Show the other picture and then show the video. And now when you drive down Darling Road, it's just refreshing. It is refreshing. So, in other words, we are trying our best to beautify the city. And it's coming on well. I just need persons to understand what we are doing. Help us. Help us. And please understand, whatever we do is for us. We're doing it for us, not for anybody else. We're doing it for us. Let's make our place look good. Let us make our place look good. So when I walk by and I see an old dirty tray with an old tarpaulin, I will obviously get upset. Oh, you all trying to take a thing and just build anywhere and say we hustle. No, folks. Let's do it. Let's do it well. And the good thing is, any work I do it. I use persons in the area to assist in executing. So, folks, that is it. Vendors and everybody else, work with me. I will work with you. That thing about I'm on my hustle, or just throw garbage anywhere, or just say you can do this there and do that there. No. Or just take fish cuts and come in the middle of Jeremy Street. No. Those things will get harsh reactions because we are on a good trajectory. It's just like the country is on a good trajectory. Let us continue along that trajectory. You want to say anything, Albert?
May I borrow your trumpet? May I borrow your trumpet?
Yeah, you can. Take it.
Thank you. Now, let me blow your trumpet a little.
Yes.
Now, Richard, being quite honest, without patting you on the back too much, over the past 4 years, you've done fantastic work in the city of Castries, right? And that video the chap did there, that actually is a demonstration of the work that you've done, right? You have done some fantastic work. The city's transformed, and if I may say, our girl Minerva Ward, right? Remember she had done this.
She had a video where she said Castries will come and get her eyes.
So yeah, I think she'll have a different view now, right? If she was to take a little walk around, she'll have a different view of what Castries. And quite honestly, Richard, Castries did not look good.
Albert, if this guy came to do that video between 2016 and 2021, because you would notice most of the things he pointed to were not existent then.
Yes.
If he had come there between 2016 and 2021, he would have never echoed the sentiments that he just did in relation to how beautiful our city looks.
So Castries did not look good.
It did
And now Castries is transforming, and you are the driving force behind it. You know,
Yes.
that is a fact, right? And it is my view that if you continue along this trajectory, the Castries that was dying
will come back
to life.
Well, I could tell you this. One of the things we're looking at, folks, Didas, Madam Mayor, don't forget, we want to do a Sunday breakfast in Constitution Park. We were on a Sunday, and we are not, persons can come freely. We will supply the music and the tents, and persons come with different stuff.
I thought you were saying that I could come and have breakfast there.
Yes.
I thought you were just giving...
No, the vendors will sell, but will provide the facilities to create a little vibe on a Sunday morning. So they start we will go between 6 and 12. So that we provide a tents, we'll alternate the vendors. So if we have 20 tents, 20% of people selling, I might provide a little music, soft music, steel band. And you know, when persons come from church, others can come there. That's one of the vibes I'm looking at. And I'm also looking at something on Jeremy Street, not necessarily on a Friday night, but something akin to Grosile Friday night on Jeremy Street to permit our vendors in Castries to make some money on one of the weeknights, probably a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, just bring vibe back to the city. But we have to do it when there's a certain degree of calmness, tranquility, and persons understand, because all of us have to take responsibility for the cleanliness of our city, for the crime-free prevalence of peace in our city. All of these are social responsibilities that all of us have to adopt. So you know, Steve Melius, I'm trying my best. Carlton Augustine said, when I do it, it should be maintained. But sadly, you know, and that's the kind of thing you get with politics. When it was built by me, both of those facilities were built by me. You know, by the way, what facilities by other persons that were in Central have nothing? You know, those facilities were built by me. And then I have to come back and to paint them, do this, do that.
What was the name of the program? Something to do with going and plant a few little peas and things. The program Sarah had.
Sarah?
Yeah.
I have Synergy.
Yeah, Synergy, right.
You know? Yeah, somebody said make it Creole. So those are the two things I'm looking forward to have a vibe on Jeremy Street, close the streets. I was the one, by the way, those of you who don't know, I brought back the flea market on a Saturday. I was gone and it was gone. And I came back, I brought it back. I was thinking of having a band and stage and everything there on a Saturday, but that'll cost me too much money. Already vendors making a lot of money there. And I have to always clean up with my CCC workers, some of whom have to work overtime. So I'm trying my best. Let us do it, but let's work together, folks. Let us work together. Let's understand that there are rules and regulations. All of us, let's operate within the rules, the perimeters of the rules and regulations. If we see no vending there, don't go and put a thing on the sidewalk anywhere. Don't go and block the entire sidewalk under the name of hustle. Come and talk to us. Like one day, sadly, I saw the guy at your village. I go there and wash my vehicle now, where there is a car wash. I was the one who, when we didn't acquire, I asked the owner permission to cast that place at the junction of Jeremy Street and New Village. I cast it. Somebody just come and open the car wash. I don't have a problem with that. But then again, he took some unsightly plywood, old galvanized, and was building a shed. And I did not hesitate to take it down. So folks, help me, I will help others. And that's all it's about. It's a partnership for development. Let us understand the trajectory on which we are. We are now enjoying a lot of publicity. We are enjoying good reviews. When somebody can come and see our city looks better than Barbados, our city looks better than Kingston, Kingstown, St. Vincent, our city looks better than St. George's, Grenada, then obviously we have something good going for us. Let us keep it that way. I'm literally begging.
How many calls Black Boy allowed?
Okay, Black Boy, how many calls we taking? I hear the phone ringing. 5 calls. Okay, we have 5 calls quickly, folks. And please don't stay too long. We are... Can I help you? Good night. Hello? Can I help you? Hello? Okay, we lost that call. Yes, we have another caller right away. Good night. Can I help you? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good night. Can I help you?
Yeah, Mr. Richard.
Yes?
All the facts you put out there on Chastanet, so why is he not arrested? Brought to account for malfeasance.
You are? Yes.
Why is he not being brought to bear for his squandering of the state funds? That's no sense.
Yes, it is. And Albert, that's one thing I want to discuss with you on the show another time.
Yeah.
You see, the special prosecutor is in place, but the special prosecutor works when a report has been officially filed with him. That has to be...
One more thing, sir, since I'm on the line.
Yes.
Since I'm on the line for time. There was a request for the power of recall, which is to call any government from office, even though the 5 years for voting is not yet up. They could be recalled from office if they are doing very, very badly. I understand that the SFP and the UWP came together to stop that. What can you say about that, sir?
That never existed in our constitution.
But that's what I'm saying. The power of recall was requested to be put into the constitution.
You said
it. Contracted government is going after cost. Clearly disaster to stop him.
Okay.
That is why there was a motion of no confidence by the SLP against the UWP and no one crossed the floor. That motion of no confidence is a crying need for the power of recall to be grafted into the constitution. What say you on that, sir?
I cannot opine on power of recall. How do you draft a power of recall? There are sufficient... Hold on. There are sufficient constitutional provisions to get a government out of office if it's not doing well. But that power of recall you're talking about, I don't understand how you can incorporate that into your constitution. You cannot have a constitution that says a power of recall, because at the end of the day, you will always get diversity of views when you are deliberating or arguing any issue. You will get the yeas and the nays. So how do you get a power of recall? I don't know.
Well, in that fact, before you agree there, it started the yeas and the nays that you said.
All right.
Before you came together to say no. And that's an agreement.
All right, caller. Thank you very much. I have heard all kinds of things, but when one says the power of recall, I mean, in the great United States, you have a mechanism where a president, you can...
I think it's something you probably need to do the research on.
Yeah, but it's not a power of recall, Albert, because how do you recall a government? You can't recall a government. it's like I'm taking my vote back. You can't. When you give that vote, you give it for 5 years. What you can't do is through a motion of no confidence, which is in the Constitution, you go that route. But that power of recall, I don't understand. Good night. Can I help you?
Hello, good night.
Yes?
I can barely hear you, Honorable Richard.
Well, I could
Barely
hear
hear Alfred.
I could hear you.
Okay, so 3 quick points. I happened to be on a bus 2 weeks ago when a young lady, about 25 years old, said that the very persons who are saying, let us make peace, let us have football tournaments and make the guys play against each other and become friends, are the same guys giving the guys guns to kill each other. And I was shocked.
Let me just tell you, this is not a show where I promote the perpetuation of propaganda. Please, cut it short and cut it short now. Anything to do with propaganda, I don't deal with it. You'll come and tell me that one say, that one say, that one say. You could. Oh, Golden Dragon. Okay, I know he has a mental issue. So
Richard, let me just tell you right quick. There's an act in the UK, which is the MPs Recall of MPs Act 2015. So it's not actually a recall of the government. It's a recall of like
an MP.
A non-performing
so
MP.
they localize it.
Yes, a non-performing MP.
Oh, because I'm saying, how can you recall a government?
Yeah.
You can't recall a government. Good night. Can I help you? Hello?
Good night.
Good night.
Hello?
Hello, good night.
Good night, Richard. How are you?
I'm all right.
Richard, stop giving me the busy maple, please. Hello?
Yes. Can I go on with your
Stop
contribution?
giving me the busy maple because I never voted for Chastanet. Last bit where Richard to play, je dérito, c'est pas moi qui vais Chastanet à titre dérito.
Trisha, you're too troublesome.
Si c'est pour moi qui fais ça, et puis tu espères pour moi vote bail, mais jamais fait ça. Et si c'est ça qui espère pour te ça gagne, pas moi tu sais gagner.
All right, Trisha. Matano, Trisha. Matano. All right, Trisha. All right.
Have a blessed night.
You too. I was a bit taken aback. I didn't know who it was, but every time I call Trisha from there, so that's the person who I refer to as being one of those culprits that unfortunately brought this man into our parliamentary chamber. Shasta, good night to you, Eugenia Popo. Good night. We have another caller. Good night. Can I help you? Hello? Hello? They're listening to the television. All right, let's take another call quickly, Black Boy. We'll take 2 more. Folks, when you're calling, please turn down the volume of your listening device, most likely your television, because we're unable to hear you here. We have another caller. Good night. Can I help you? Good night.
Hello. Hi, Richard. How are you doing? I'm here.
I'm blessed. Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, good night. Good night. Yes.
Yeah, but Richard, that's your friend from Trevor. I was the one who was asking you the question on TikTok.
Oh, okay.
And you were banking all these questions, which trying to turn you around and,
Okay. Y'all were being mischievous.
No, mischievous. We wanted answers.
All right. And Guy liked...
We wanted answers.
Guy
we wanted answers for where money went to, where passport went to, it was answering it.
The guy lied through his teeth, Guy, he lied through his teeth, through his teeth. When Guy could see you. Go ahead.
But I wanted to say, Brother Richard, it's a good show. I follow every night recently to watch you and to learn more.
Thank you.
And I want your guest to pressure. I know his family. He's like walking a cup. But he has to step up his game to pressure these guys, these Aaron Chastanet, for where our money went, where DSH went, where our money is going to.
Yes, All right. Okay, my brother. Thank you.
Okay, have a good night.
You too. Thank you very much. Let me say good night to Arthur Charles, Castries Constituency Council. Good night, Petra Cyril. Good night to you, Julietta Leo. Good night, my girl. Charmaine Charles. Good night, good night, good night. Vicky Bucha again. Good night, Cuckoo. Good night. Yeah, we have another caller. Good night, can I help you? Hello?
Hello?
Hello? That must be Cornelia Jacob. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, Cornelia, we're hearing you.
Oh, okay. I was not hearing anything. So let me tell you that when we're talking about Guy Joseph,
yes,
we're talking about a Christian who became a politician who now thinks he's an electrician, but he's also a pediatrician. Back then, you see the land that Theo acting through Alan Chastanet took from us in Beaufort South is creating problems for us in Beaufort South. We in Beaufort South need to mind our business, but we should start minding our business more after Sunday. Because when you see we start looking at your dimanche, they'll call you Pablo.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Thank you, Cornelia. Thank you. Carlton Augustine said as soon as Cornelia called, he said, Nenen Wivi. We'll take our last call. June spoke hello. He said, I need to have a WhatsApp number. Nigel Sinclair, good night. Okay, Nenen. Cornelia, I didn't know they were calling you Nenen. They said Nenen Wivi. We'll take one more call before we leave here. Good night. Can I help you? Oh, okay. We lost that caller. Yeah, Albert. Albert, they're joking his phone and they're even listening to me. Oh, my God. I telling Val for you. I saw the message.
Good night.
Good night. Can I help you?
Yeah, one more other question. Why is Guy Joseph so desperate to get back into office?
Well, reason.
Something happened there.
Well, I think that question would be better poised for Albert to answer because Albert has a vested interest in getting a conclusion to the whereabouts of the St. Jude material. So, Albert, why you think Guy Joseph is equipped with such desperation?
May I answer in Creole?
Yes, you can.
Richard, Suka travail, Richard, Suka travail.
Because it's a special prosecutor. Are you aware that the special prosecutor is investigating so many cases now?
Yes, and that's what you see, and that's why I told Albert we must do a special thing on the special prosecutor, because the special prosecutor is not about you make a report to me today and then I arrest tomorrow. It's not like that.
Yeah.
The report must be made.
And everything must be evidence-based.
That's correct. The report has to be made first of all. So if nobody makes a report of the Pajua letter, or if nobody makes a report of the commission that Guy basically said persons would receive, or if nobody makes a report of the government taking a loan and somebody getting commission on that loan, if nobody makes a report, then no investigation is initiated. There needs to be some kind of spark to initiate an investigation, which will cause the collection of statements, the need and search for evidence and substantiation before a conclusive matter can be brought before the court. But I'd
like to see a copy of that act.
There must be an agency of the government that has to start that investigation of organizations and essential materials.
No, somebody has to initiate and make a report to the special prosecutor.
If that be the case, Richard, that's a weakness in the act, you know. I'm making no bones about this.
No, but the act,
if that be the case, that is a weakness.
All right, okay, caller, but I can tell you for sure that there are many cases on his desk currently being investigated.
The special prosecutor should be able to initiate his own investigation.
No, but then you're asking him to go on a frolic of his own, Albert.
No, it's not a frolic of his own.
Yes, Albert.
Right.
Albert, how can the special prosecutor, hold on. He is supposed to be totally dislodged I mean, although a lot of times we see separation of powers, the judiciary, the legislation, and the blah, 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 which we know does not necessarily operate well given the smallness of our society. But my point is, Albert, if he's supposed to be totally divorced from political happenings, he cannot say, I will go and do that one, and I'm not doing that one, or I doing that one, I know. I think it's too onerous on the special prosecutor, and you're asking the special prosecutor to take a political leap, which is what you want to avoid, okay? So essentially, the act is saying that a report being made to the special prosecutor. I mean, I can't repeat the contents verbatim here now.
I would like to see a copy of the act, but I don't think we really should go into a
yes
argument on this.
It's just like the police on their own initiation. Can they just say, unless it's a case like murder, let us say an assault, there is no complainant. How can the police do anything about it?
But there's certain crimes, Richard. I mean,
you need a virtual complaint.
Yes.
So,
but there are others that
that do. Yes. So let's let that lie for now.
Yes, for now. Yes.
But I believe it needs to be dissected for the elucidation of our people, because a lot of them have concerns. But what I can say is, I am aware that the special prosecutor has a multiple of cases being investigated almost simultaneously, and he has a team taking statements, getting information together, getting the relevant documentary evidence necessary to have a solid and a very tight case. So that being what it is, one has to be a little patient to ensure that whatever is done in a watertight manner.
Indeed.
Albert?
Yes, sir. Yes, Richard, I would, just before we close, let me just say a quick hello to Julie Favre Charles, my classmate back in the day. She's in the States. Henry Lamy, good night. Right? Nettie McDonald, good night. Nettie, let me tell you something. I like the work you're doing, and continue.
Oh, yeah, Nettie McDonald, yes.
Right. Yes, indeed. Clara Shallery, good night. Anson Maxwell, good night to you. Mazoon Philip. Now, again, Mazoon, I like to work you do.
Yeah,
Mazoon. She takes no prisoners.
Mazoon, you like to wine too much.
She takes no prisoners.
Mazoon, you guys are getting Mazoon back, Miss Anton.
But let me just say, Richard, although you've apologized, right? But I think I ought to myself because I initiated the thing.
Yeah, you were
right, I initiated it. So, look, when we first got the information that, we're talking about the Sam Flood Jugwa, right? I said, no, we're not, and I told Richard we're not going to say anything because we have not,
you did.
And then we got it from another source.
We got it from multiple sources.
And then so we went. What I was about to do actually was to eulogize Jugwa, because
yes.
Yeah, because Jugwa is an icon. Jugwa is a St. Lucian icon, right? The work Jugwa did in Creole, right? And to bring Creole to to bring Creole to the fore.
And I dare say, I don't think you see now his brother is already cursing people on thing and using obscenities, but then again, that's what politics does.
Yeah, and sometimes emotions,
they flare. I mean, at the end of the day, nobody is wishing or calling for Jugwa's untimely demise. I don't think that was the intention. The intention was to pay homage.
Yeah, that's what I was about to do. Right?
But
because the man, come on, Jugwa, radio assistant. No,
let me tell you something. You know what? Jugwa first introduced me to
Avoka Holla. Right.
So I was about going down that road, and then I'm seeing a post by Michael Flood. And sometimes.
But anyway, like I say, emotions run high.
When I said about, they always say, challenge me. When you say they say that, no, something is wrong.
Yeah, but anyway,
So I was about doing that. He introduced me to radio and Avoka Holla every Thursday night, and from there it just took off.
Mm-hmm.
It took off. After that, I started my own radio thing, then television. So. I have every Sunday myself, Jugwa, and Arthur Charles used to just lime, salty bus, Zell, just lime. Sadly, he started by calling me Cock Savannah. People made over Cock Savannah Catchui. And then of late, invariably, since I parted ways with the UWP of a party he found favor with, I then became Coxazel, So, all of that I would have said, but then, sometimes persons are too quick to respond. And I must say, one of his sons, Tandy, is my follower, my supporter. Tandy has me like a remote. He would just dial my number and I would respond to whatever it is. So that's the kind of relationship I still share with his son.
Yeah. So bottom line is, we apologize unreservedly. We had no bad intentions.
Definitely not.
So yeah. And may he continue on this side of the border.
Yeah, well, I'm just hoping that I don't know from whence the rumor emanated, if it is, but I cannot say with certainty what we have been told. We have been told it on both sides, and I have received no less than 50 or so messages. So. We will ensure that the source that we quote from, and you remember when we said we're not saying it, and you got it from Christopher Hunt,
yes,
who I consider extremely credible. But those things do happen.
Yeah.
So
but even Chris was saying that he got it from sources within the UWP. So I don't know what that's about, but. Anyways.
Okay. Folks, I think Black Boy is ready to go. He's already said he's out. As I've always said, folks, if God has blessed you, no one can curse you. Live clean, because what you sow, you are bound to reap. Be careful of what you wish for others. Be careful of the pit you dig for others. It may just be your own. I'm Richard Frederick about there. See you next Thursday, God willing. Good night.